1. We go. 2. Let's go. 3. We go. 4. Let's go. 5. Very good. Very good. 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Okay, let's go with the weight. All right, so hold, bend your knee. Let's do the flies. We go. 1, 2. Let's go. 3. We go. 4, 5. We go. 6. Let's go. 7. Good. 8. 9. 10. Very good. 5 more. Let's go. 5 more. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. All right. Let's go with the weights. We go. Let's go. Watch. Down. Let's go. We go. 1. We go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We go. 8, 9, 10. Let's go. 5 more. We go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one. We go. 5. Very good. 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, let's start with the arms. Let's do the arms. Ready? Go. Let's go. 1. We go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go. 11. We go. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Very good. All right, so pick one. Pick one. No, you can face the side. Face the side. Face. Go down. Very good. So let's go. Stretch. 1. We go. 2, 3. Up. We go. 4, 5. Let's go. 6. Stretch. Let's go. 7. Let's go. 8, 9, 10. Let's go. Okay, change. 10. Change. Let's go. We go. 1. Very good. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go. 9, 10. Very good. Very good. Okay, so let's stretch. We have 2 minutes. So let's use the 2 minutes to stretch. Here we go. Go side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very good. Let's go. Same way. We go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, change. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll catch you same time tomorrow and stay safe.
He missed out on that statement. It's all about the shake-up. Anyway, thank you very much, Jamal, for holding us down every morning. I was just about to try some push-ups as well, but tomorrow I promise I'll try it. Maybe
your suit 60, will not allow. Tell this.
60 will do.
Your suit will not allow.
In Jesus' name. Anyway, don't forget the show is probably brought to you by Fan Milk and Unlimited as well. And this morning, Fan Milk is saying if you call these magic numbers, that's 0551 767676, guess what? You can order some Fan Milk products to your house. Only if you're ordering more than 20 Ghana cedis, they are willing to deliver it to your house. However, you pay those charges on delivery as well, okay? And if you live in Accra, Tema, or in Kaswa, this offer is for you. So call right now, 0551 767676. And oh, that's not all. So Sir Art, who happens to be one of our stylists on Prime Morning as well, is saying that, you know what, if you also just call him, I'll give you his number shortly, but if you call him and you just mention my name, Jay Foley. Okay. That's all.
Jay Foley, then.
That's all. Just call and say Jay Foley.
The
magic name. Guess what? He will give you a very wonderful deal on the clothes you're going to sew. For as low as 100 Ghana cedis, you can get a shirt, and even for 200 Ghana cedis, you can get a shirt and a whole kaftan piece. It comes with the sewing, the material, everything. It's a great offer.
Something for women as well?
Oh yes, you are in there as well. So it's for Sir Arts, and you can check him out on Instagram. It's Sir Arts _GH, SIRART_GH. We'll be going into our news flash. Before that, any
yeah, and let me just tell you that if you want to get access to the new Joy Learning channel on Multi TV, or you have any challenges with your Multi TV Digibox, these are the numbers to call: 0244 340 415, 0244 340 415, or 424. So it's 0244 340 415 or 424. Or you can also call 030 222 6163, 030 222 6163. This is if you have any challenge with Multi TV or Joy Learning or anything at all that has to do with Multi TV, just thrills.
Okay, so
I know what you're going to say.
Well, I'm glad you know what I'm going to say, because your health is your wealth, and I'm highly concerned about your health. And so I'm still recommending CB Men Capsule and CB Women Capsule for the women. Now, if you're a man and you're having challenges with, urinal, double urinal, there's itchiness, or there's some sort of unusual feeling after you've urinated. You see, like what I mean. All you need is CB Men Capsule. Now, for the women, menstrual pain, you have challenges, itches, discharge, anything that you know is very unusual, we recommend CB Women Capsule. Now, if you want to contact them, it's 0247 111 671, 0247 111 671. There's also something that I call Universal. It's a CB soap for the men and for the women. It's for manicure and pedicure. It's pretty simple to use as well. So we recommend CB soap for you as well. Now, CB soap, Ghana Mbani Meme in Adam Wasi.
Yeah, Adam Wasi. Time for us to do news flash. Don't go away.
Welcome back at News Flash. I'm just about starting with a daily graphic. Now, this one I'm going to have to read for you. So, children solicit for COVID-19. Now, for some time now, some children between 2 and 16 years have invaded the streets of Accra and other cities to solicit for arms. Now, strangely, in this era of the coronavirus disease, COVID-19 pandemic, the children go about their activities without wearing nose masks or any form of protection. Actually, in the concert or the activities and concert of some elderly women believed to be their mothers or guardians, who usually sit on the pavement or under trees along the street. Now, it's high time the Departments of Social Welfare took protective or proactive measures, I must say, to ensure that these children are only safe, but not only safe, but also taking off the street. Now, I'd say that this is some sort of a social watch for the daily graphic and is in front of it. Now, the big one also, ahead of voters registration registration, EC trains 42,025 officials so that the registration process is smooth. Also, WAEC Education Ministry discuss BEC and WASI, and this is on page 13. Now, update, now COVID-19 update. Now, 8,070. Daniel, the numbers right? 8070. Yeah, 8070.
Since the president's address, it has not been updated.
Okay, there hasn't been updated, right? So, and recovery is 2,947 now, 36 deaths as well. So this is also an announcement from the Ghana Water Company. So they're preparing to spill excess water from the Wager Dam. This is to prevent the collapse of. So there's a. Is there a bridge there,
or have to find a way of, holding this water? I mean, this has been there since time memorial.
Yeah,
that they
so
always
what
have
it
to
is
spill.
Is that there's a level of water that the dam can carry.
Yes.
If it goes beyond that level of water for too long, the dam can break.
Yeah.
Now, what we are literally doing is that we built a wall to block the river.
Yes.
So if the dam breaks, all that water
is going to just gush out, clear all
it's going to sweep away all the homes.
Yes. Have you been there before?
Yeah, I've done countless stories from there. I've waded through the water there.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah. I felt like singing that old Negro spiritual. Wade through the water. Yeah, but it's very unfortunate, and it's sad that the people they have accepted it. They have higher foundations.
Okay.
Yeah. So as soon as it, there are some people who move out of the place when the dam is being spilled. And every year they say the same thing. Nipa hu here saying so. But I'm saying that they are actually protecting lives. Ghana Water is actually protecting more lives by spilling, because if they don't spill and that wall breaks, it will be the greatest human disaster that this country has seen. I can say with confidence.
All right, then.
We'll be looking for the bodies after months.
Oh, I see. Then people around these areas, Tetegu, Oblogo, Pambrosu Salt, and Lower McCarthy Hill should also take note of this. There's going to be spilling of the dam. Now, freight forwarders, the middle page of the Daily Graphic before I go to J.O. Daniel. Freight forwarders protects challenges with clearing system at Tembo Port. Now, this brings me to say a big congratulations to Ms. Sandra Opoku on her appointment as the director of the Tema Port. I hope that you bring some calm and sanity to the port.
Women empowerment.
Yes.
She will definitely do her job. On the front page of Daily Guide this morning. Now, Obinim fires lawyer and whisked away in style as well. Well, his case has been adjourned to the, I think, July, somewhere in July, I think July 20th as well. And they've asked for more evidence to be brought forward to the court before they can proceed with hearing. Also, 100 worshippers, 1 hour, says Nana, and national security to get Woyome properties, all in the Daily Guide. Also on the middle page, cinemas, nightclubs, festivals remain closed. I beg your pardon.
So, spill up.
I was going to say something, but I think...
Did that choke you?
It choked me because... I beg your pardon, I'm so sorry, but... the thing is that that is another area of business, for the tourism industry, and I can imagine the impact of this on there. A lot of money is being lost on there, and job losses. Also, railway workers to get pay arrears, and more stories here in the Daily Guide. Back to you.
The Finder newspaper is where I begin. Constitutes COVID-19 task forces. The man you see wearing the nose mask is Kofi Jamesi. He is the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Says these COVID-19 task forces are to enforce compliance. Here we was telling the churches and the mosques. There's also the picture of Joe Gatti, Member of Parliament for Sikado Keten. Good morning, Uncle Joe. We call him Big Joe.
Big Joe.
He's a huge man.
Yeah.
He's also a MOBA, which is just so you know. It says COVID-19 hampers railway construction as over 70 workers test positive. Electoral Commission must be decisive with approach on new registered Dankwa Institute, says there. And ICOMS outlines clearing procedures at port. So that's it for the front page of the Finder newspaper.
Okay, so quickly also the BNFT reports, or probably you should get a copy of the BNFT this morning and go to page 4 and 5. They have explained better. They've given a graphical understanding of the ICOMS, the Integrated Customs Management System, and it's boldly in the middle, the page 4 and 5 of the BNFT. However, today in front of the BNFT, Agric can attract big investors in government, and this is only...
I think that's if government.
If if government. So Agric can attract a big investments if government address land litigation issues and invest in Agric-linked infrastructure. That is not even debatable.
As for
that's
land
just,
litigation,
that's
it's not only bedeviling Agric. There's so much really.
So much, yeah.
And every time I see this, I say it with pain. We have neighboring houses here that are almost abandoned here in Kokomlemi.
Wow.
If you go to yes,
they're
the
abandoned.
House, look, the house just behind us. You see, there's a house under construction by our studio, and there's an old house just behind it. That house is empty. It's not being used for anything. I can name 10 houses like that in Kokomlemi. What it is that there are old rich men who died without wills. For the few that I've asked about, old rich men who died without wills. They have so many children, so many grand. The families are so huge now, they can't decide on who has the rights to the place.
house.
So it's been abandoned.
And you dare
not touch it. This is prime real estate. I know grandchildren of some of these people who have told me, oh, this house is for my grandfather. Oh, this house is for, I went to school with some of them.
Wow.
But they can't do anything about it. Here in Kokomlemi, Adabraka, Old Accra.
Yeah.
Kokomlemi, Adabraka, Jamestown, those areas. So it's the old towns.
If you slack and you go and rent it from one family member,
you're in trouble.
68 times.
Yeah.
Yes,
it's
I
a
know.
problem. So for land litigation,
it's a major issue.
I can imagine. All right, that's just about it for the BNFT. However, Newmont supports communities with isolation units and 16,000. This figure is big.
It's big, eh?
What's this figure?
it's 166,000 Ghana
cedis worth of.
The
The figure is shocking me this morning. All right, worth of COVID-19 supplies. I mean, if institutions to keep going on like this, I'm sure that we can help curb the situation. That's just about it for me for the BNFT.
Yeah.
Daily Statesman is where I go next. Next, it has a picture of Richard Ahiagba as he addressed that news conference for Dankwa Institute. It used to be Dankwa Buzia Institute.
Yeah.
Now it's Dankwa Institute. It says, EC lied to Supreme Court in 2012. DI takes on Charlotte Osei Mahama over voter register irregularities or illegalities. Obi Amwa, who is the Deputy Minister for Local Government, is urging electors to ignore anti-new voter register campaigners. And it has a picture of Kojo Opon Kroma, echoing what he told us yesterday when he joined us on Prime Morning. He says, errant churches and mosques will be closed down, government cautions. And Mr. Opon Kroma, of course, is the Minister for Information.
Well, lastly on my side, Ghanaian Times this morning. Now, back page is where I start from. Interesting story here. Traders in markets within Sekondi Takoradi Metropolis to rotate. And I think this is actually a good move, and I wish it would actually happen in most of the other markets because social distancing clearly isn't practiced there. You were there, right, in one of the markets?
Yeah, it was really choked, it was crowded. Some of them don't even believe at all. Some of them were doing their own analysis that, oh, when the numbers were a little lower, we were in lockdown and the numbers are out, but now we're out there doing businesses. This tells them that it's not true. I couldn't believe the understanding and the analysis they were putting to everything. This tells me how much education is not working in the marketplaces.
People are just
Who's supposed to be held accountable?
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Joy Foley.
Front of the Ghanaian Times also says, don't rush to open churches, clergy urges restraint right here. And that's it for me in Ghanaian Times.
New Crusading Guide is where I will end. It has two stories that we have dealt with, and that picture of Richard Ahiagba again there, saying that the current voters register unfit for purpose. He heads Dankwa Institute. Clearing agents worried. That's another angle of that port story. As goods locked at Tema Port. Suspend mass church activities. Chiabosom admonishes church leaders. You know Chiabosom wants to run for president.
Okay.
Yes.
I interviewed him on the pod
Is it?
a few months ago.
Why are his ideologies mostly like that of the CPP, and he takes that of even pictorial stories? Yeah.
Can I give a controversial opinion?
Okay.
I think that the legacy of Kwame Nkrumah has become, it's become so borrowed. Perhaps it could be because it's not that well defined in Ghana's political space.
Okay.
The CPP as a political party
Yes.
is not strong enough to carry it to term.
Yeah.
in terms of winning an election. And so you have the PPP drawing from there. NDC calls itself an Nkrumahist party.
Yeah.
In fact, almost every party, apart from the NPP, which is clearly defined as right of center.
Yeah.
Almost every other political party in Ghana sort of draws from Nkrumahist tendencies. And even with the NPP, it's said that President Akufo-Addo, as a boy, was actually an Nkrumahist at heart.
Yes, yes.
And so he has actually, the NPP has actually put forth a lot of socialist policies like health insurance, like capitation grants, which
Yes.
made basic schools free,
Yes.
like free SHS. All of these are things that you expect from a party left of center.
Yeah.
But it's what the NPP is
I mean,
doing.
it's
So
okay to draw, but he gives it's too. He basically would lift it without modifying it. Without he just is near like he's a CPP person more than he's standing on his own. I can't be able to identify his ideology. That's my challenge.
You
But
may be
anyway,
sure. But
yeah,
which party
no
can you
problem, no
identify?
anyway.
What's the ideology? Let's be
Did you
serious.
know that DR Congo they have recorded 4 Ebola cases? Did you know that? Yeah.
4?
Yes, so confirmed by the Minister of Health. So 4 persons that
Wow.
died have been confirmed that they died from Ebola. That's sad to hear. Are you done with your newspapers?
ACF
Yes.
has set the record straight on Ghana Gas. I think that's the only one that was
Okay.
left there.
All right, then.
That's it for the newspaper.
All right, then. So we'll go for a break. When we come back, what's trending, sports, beyond the headline, and even good living. Stay with us.
Mira, what did you dear? Mary Medro CB Men's Capsules. And you may use Padarma, Bohobio, CB Men's Capsules by dear. What 2 points?
I don't know. You're very good. Said I'm a dan, I'm a swam and two intentum usually. It's a minute you so we Arabia house to credit you.
Said to say, my yes, you dear CB Women's Capsules.
A year if it's a woman in home fee and so.
Hey! See women's capsules with the Ajo.
Also, CB Men's Capsules, and Joe.
Susiana.
Ghana man, Merman Damase.
Our pharmacy, chemical, ne herbal shops ni name. Et to phone fresh Susie Herbal Center 0247 111671 and 0246 578750. CB Men and Women Capsules.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Introducing Cerelac Biscuity, the new baby cereal from Cerelac, with a great new biscuity taste that babies absolutely love. And of course, it's fortified with iron to support babies' healthy growth, just like all the other nutritious Cerelac flavors. Cerelac, big nutrition for small tummies.
With schools temporarily closed and students staying home, teachers at North Hills International School, the most preferred private school in Ghana, award recipient in 2018, continued to have constant interactive classes with our pupils while simulating classroom experience online. At North Hills International School, we adapt to change and we go the extra mile to make sure any investment made in your ward's education yields the best results. We admit students from preschool to junior high school. Our arms are open to welcoming your ward into our wonderful community. Call us today and let your child start a promising journey of global excellence with us. North Hills International School, climbing academic excellence.
Accidents do happen. It could be a motor accident, a sudden heart attack, or even a stroke, or any other health emergency. The first steps you take are very critical. Should you be involved in or witness an accident, call 112 for the fastest ambulance response. With over 300 well-equipped ambulances all over Ghana, you are assured of the fastest response to your emergency calls. Call 112 during critical health emergencies and save your life and that of your family and loved ones. 112, help will come. 112, we are safe. Avoid prank calls as they can lead to loss of life of persons in actual need of help. Be a responsible citizen.
All right, so welcome, good morning once again, and you're watching Prime Morning. Time for us to do what's trending. Now, don't forget this big question we are asking you. So, you know, it's all about COVID-19, coronavirus, and this has actually hard hit a lot of companies, so they've let go of some of their staff, if not all of them. However, that has also generated a new conversation about money lending and borrowing. Are you borrowing money or are you lending money? And are you paying your debts back? Well, we're talking to a few experts as well real quickly on the show to see if we can clearly understand what is happening in that field. But however, let's jump onto our very first story this morning. So now 1 hour per session for mosque church service is to prevent long wearing of face masks, says the Minister of Information. Now Ghana's Information Minister Kojo Nkrumah has revealed that government's decision to make churches and mosques to hold services for an hour per session is to prevent congregants from wearing face masks for a long period. Now, he also said that he added that the move is to make it easier for religious bodies to keep a database of worshippers to assist in contact tracing should a COVID-19 case be recorded. Now let's move on to our next story. Now, so guess who's joined in the George Floyd protests as well here in Ghana? So aside from the president also sharing his sentiments on this issue on his Facebook page, however, DKB, Ghanaian comedian, has registered his displeasure at the discrimination faced by African Americans in the United States. Now, he shared a picture of himself wearing a black t-shirt with the inscription, "Support Your Own," and a red bandana tied around his head. Now, he also held a placard with the popular hashtag Black Lives Matter, which is still trending on Twitter this morning. Now, although the picture indicates that he took part in a demonstration, it is not clear if it was a one-man demonstration or there were other participants. Now, we have pictures on your screens. Now, you can check it out for yourself. As you can see, DKB standing on there. Now, after he posted the image of this on his social media, several people threw insults at him, and this is what he had to say.
So I posted a picture of me today as I joined the African Americans based in Ghana to, help with the protests on the George Floyd murder and also bring some awareness to police brutality of black people. And I've been receiving so many insults from people. Why? Like, why? What have I done to you? Insulting me, mind your business, focus on Ghana, do Ghana stuff. You are looking for visa. You are myopic, you don't have sense. You see, this part of your brain, it attends to kitchen cupboard. You don't have sense. To know that anything that happens in the world, anywhere affects everybody else in the world. You don't know. You don't know that the riot can influence unemployment situation, it can influence inflation, and it can also influence oil price. You don't know. Ghana will keep borrowing from America. If this thing is not controlled, if this police brutality is not controlled, you think we can easily get loans from them? You don't know the economic implications. You have gone to wipe your buttocks with your economic paper. How can you know this thing? How can you know it?
Well, it's very difficult to draw a line between when he's serious and when he's joking, but I think this one he's very serious about it as well. Go President DKB, we heard you, and of course some of us support this cause as well. Now, dancehall artist Stonebwoy has revealed that he advised Mr. Drew to ensure all copyright issues related to his Eat song, a cover song from Rotimi's Love Rhythm, was resolved before it was released. Now, according to him, he only jammed on the song as an act of support and only got to know the song was a cover song after recording his verse. Now we have a video of this for you. Now Mr. Drew also, who apparently didn't do the right thing, has come out with an apology to Stonebwoy.
I respect Stonebwoy so much for showing me love, for jumping onto my song, and I would never ever disrespect him in any way. You understand? So this is like my official apology to Stonebwoy, his management, and the BIM natives as well. I would never disrespect anybody. It's been pure love, and it will be pure love throughout. You understand? I will still love Stonebwoy no matter what, because I'm seeing a lot of things. I'm seeing people, you know, attack me, the BIM natives and all that, and I just want to say that I will never ever disrespect or sell out anybody, especially Stonebwoy, for being on my song. So for those of you, you know, saying that, oh, I've disrespected Stonebwoy, I will never do that. And I'm saying this officially, you know, for somebody who has blessed me with a verse, the most powerful verse, trust me. You know, you listen to the song, I know say it be mad verse, and I want to say, you understand, apologies to Stonebwoy, the name, the brand Stonebwoy, apologies to BIM natives, apologies to Stonebwoy's management as well. And we didn't do our part well. And Stonebwoy, we want to, you know, separate Stonebwoy from all this. We want to just take Stonebwoy from all this, you understand? So this is my official apology to BIM Nation, to Stonebwoy and his management as well. I will put out an official, or my label is going to put out an official statement soon. But for now, this is what I'm going to say. Before I go ahead to even do anything, I love him so much. I respect him for who he is, you know, trying to support the youth. And it has nothing to do with disrespect, okay? So I think that it was our mistake, you understand? It was our mistake, and we accept it. We accept everything totally. It was our mistake, and we just want to say sorry to Stonebwoy's management and everybody else who supports him. We love him, and somehow we are part of the family, you understand? So yeah, if you know him, do let this reach out to him as well. And yeah, it's all love and vibes, you understand? But now I'm gonna leave, right? And I'm gonna come back later. But yeah, get this video to Stonebwoy, get this video to his management, get this video to, you know, every BIM native out there. Sorry for, you know, bringing you guys into all this, and we accept it totally. It's our fault. Highly Spiritual Music, Mr. Drew, my management, we apologize sincerely. Thank you.
All right, so that's Mr. Drew's message. Follow him on IG at Mr. Drew Official as well and get all updates from him. Let's move on to the next story. Now, Funny Face is in the news. So, Funny Face has admitted that he is responsible for all these problems he's faced in his relationships. Now, according to him, his foolishness, he says, and obsession about huge bums has accounted to his plight. Here's a video for you.
AKA Mr. Happiness. Okay, so now, real quick, let me tell you, there is nothing spiritual about people say, find your problem, you are chasing big bottles, maybe spiritual problem. Maybe there's nothing spiritual about this. There's nothing spiritual. I'm just, Jimmy. If you keep chasing big bottles and it's giving you the same result, change your tactics, go in for people who believe in your dreams and who understand you. Me and Jimmy, there's nothing spiritual. Don't come and add any spirituality to it. There's nothing spiritual now, because every woman you take, you divorce, and it's spiritual. It's not spiritual. It's Jimmy bottles. Me and Petro, and I'm Abraham. Nobody should say any spiritual.
Just gotta love this guy, man, and he always has content for you. So follow him as well on social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and I'm very sure Funny Face will do justice to all he does every single time. Anyway, let's move on to our next story, but don't forget that we are still asking you, are you borrowing money or are you lending money? If you are lending money, are you being paid? Or if you're borrowing money, are you really going to pay back in these times? We'd love to hear from you as well. Jump onto our social media platforms on Joy Prime Official. Talk to us right now. We'd love to read your comments. Let's move on to our next story. Now, this one says, Justice for Uwa. Hope I had it right. Now, it's a trend that is actually picking up in Nigeria. Now, the hashtag Justice for Uwa is a top trend in Nigeria following the murder of a 22-year-old student by name Uwa Vera Omozuwa. I hope I had the name right, in a church. Now, she had been studying in a quiet church near her home when she was killed. Now, her family is currently appealing for help to track down the murders as well. Really sad story, and there you can see with blood all over. Sorry for those graphic images as well. May her soul rest in perfect peace. Now, our next story real quickly now. Microsoft is also set to replace dozens of contract journalists on its MSN website with automated systems to select news stories. Now, artificial intelligence, which is taking over the world now, will perform a news production task which is currently done by journalists. All right, before we wrap up, time for us to jump onto our trends and find out the big ones making big headlines on Twitter as well. Moving on to our screen so we can see. Let's start off with this one that says Minister for Religious Affairs is a top trend on Twitter this morning, and the comments in there crazy. This one says all Sunday schools and children's services are not allowed. Honorable Kofi Jamisi, Minister for Religious Affairs, hashtag Minister's Press Briefing. Another one here says general specific protocols for church thermometer guns or thermal scanners are provided for checking the temperature of congregants at entry points of all venues. Still coming out from the ministry, there's another one here that says place offering bowls at the entrance and exit points for members to give offerings and tithes when entering or on their way out of church premises. More tweets coming here. This one from Rahman Fitra 6 hours ago says the Indonesian government has cancelled Hajj travel for 2020. All arrangements and officials appointed to oversee the pilgrim as well. More tweets here on this one here says from Frankie Pani. Hope I had that one. Still talking more about the Indonesian government and what they are doing as well with regards to religion and opening of church. Edu Jemfi 70 on Twitter says all Sunday schools and children's services are not allowed. A retweet from the minister's press briefing. Let's go to another trend here, moving on from this one, but as you can see, we've got a lot of neutral comments coming in. But on Black Lives Matter, 20% neutral comments, 60% negative comments, and that's actually a very big one coming on here. This one here says being shared by Ariana Grande. It says hours and miles of peaceful protesting yesterday that got little to no coverage, although Beverly Hills and West Hollywood, we chanted, people beamed and cheered along. We were passionate, we were loud, we were loving. Cover this too, please. And she shares a beautiful photo on her Twitter as well. Another one coming in here from Try the Fish on Twitter says Huntington Beach 2 weeks ago protests against stay at home order to open the beaches as well. You can see a beautiful picture shared on here. These are all comments and tweets on trends on Twitter. Now let's move on to another trend this morning taking over. Nana Addo, the president, is also trending on Twitter, and here it says from Samira Salwani says President Akufo-Addo of Ghana has released a statement regarding the killing of George Floyd and states that it cannot be right that in the 21st century the USA goes on and on. As you can see, some photos on there. More, and even a tweet from Opanka, Daddy Opanka as well, a Ghanaian artist. He says, Nanado de Traiwa, I can really see the stress on his face. Kudos, Presido. He says, getting a lot of likes there. Opanka's extra tweet says, Dear Nanado, I wish the ban on funeral will never be lifted so the dead will be peacefully buried after the death with no unnecessary jamming and stressing them by keeping them in the mortuary for too long. Or what do you think, my fellow Ghanaians? He's asking, getting tweets there. And more tweets coming here. Lastly, from Steve's Success on Twitter says Ghana's President Nana Akufo-Addo sends his condolences George Floyd's family. A neutral comment there coming. And these are trends that we picked up on Twitter this morning, bringing us to a wrap on what's trending this morning. But before we leave you as well, a quick funny video from Papi Kojo as he imitates Shatta Wale and handing over to Queenster afterwards.
Camera, you see the camera where I watch right now? I dey tell camera my peace of mind. Cause me camera no they make I feel like I be star, I be this, I be that. All the people they know me, they know say those days that if you wear rubber chain, and if you wear this chain, and if you wear this, right now the diamonds wear I wear from my neck, in my life. So I don't fake anything to anybody. I see camera and I can say, Charlie, ladies, Charlie, yeah, the things I don't want to talk about, just say, some people, yeah. Hey, me I'm not dealing, don't see me.
Well, I think Papi Kojo, clearly stranded in Italy, is having a real good time jabbing people on social media. So, Queensta, what do you make of this character?
I think it's funny. Shatawale himself is a character. So, for someone like Papi Kojo to imitate him, it's like a whole different level. But yeah, it's interesting.
Interesting, the key word here. Let's find out some more interesting stuff. What is making trends on sports as well?
Today, I'm all about the Black Stars, the 1992 squad. Abedi Pele, the Tony Yeboahs, the Tony Bafos and stuff. So today, I'm all about the former players of the national team, the Black Stars.
Throwback Tuesday test then on Prime Sports coming up next.
Hello, I'm Queensta Japan. This is Prime Sports, and right now we take a look at Abedi Pele's days as captain of the senior national team, the Black Stars, plus Tony Bafos' dismissal of former teammate Tony Yeboah's captaincy claims. And when exactly is the La Liga set to resume? Well, let's find out. So, Black Stars legend Abedi Ayew Pele has stated that he did not lobby to become captain ahead of the 1992 African Cup of Nations competition, with Kwesi Appiah captain of the team throughout the qualifiers. Abedi was handed the armband going into the tournament under circumstances that were reportedly controversial at that time.
I don't think there was enough, but like he said, Carl said, you know, there were so many people who were talking about it, but I take that criticism that people were saying that I fought for the captainship and other things, I think it wasn't true. And today, from one of the pressmen who the nation respects a lot, have voiced out what really transpired. And I think I'll leave it like that.
Well, the former captain, that's Abedi Ayew Pele, also revealed that prior to the tournament, there was no rift among the players. Speaking in an interview on GTV Sports Plus, the former Olympic Marseille man disclosed that the team spirit was high and there were no problems as long as he was concerned.
Very good. For me, maybe for others, but for me, it was very good. They announced the captainship when in Portugal. So for me it was very good, and I never had problem with Kwesi Appiah. I never had problems with Tony. Tony was really, exceptional. But you say people were talking, but Tony has never pointed a finger that Abedi have said something against me or have said something in the newspaper. Tony was like a brother.
Okay.
Well, the maestro in that same interview mentioned Kofi Kinata as his favorite Ghanaian musician. Abedi explained that he fell in love with the Susuka Obi-Nyawaye hitmaker Kofi Kinata after he watched him perform live during a program.
I should, yes.
And who's that? You forgot his name. Is it Highlight or which one?
Highlight.
Highlight.
The guy is from Takoradi.
Kofi Kinata.
Kofi Kinata.
Oh wow!
Yes.
So that's the guy.
That's my guy.
Wow.
I was one of my, I own part of Israel Owns.
Okay.
And our CEO had a party in his house, and he invited me. And Kofi Kinata came, and he performed live, in front of me.
Wow.
It was amazing.
Wow.
And that was the day I just said, "Oh, this is the guy."
Wow. Shake. So Kofi Kinata, that's your fan, Abedi Ayew Pele, the greatest African footballer of all time, is a fan of Kofi Kinata. You're going to Takoradi.
still on that 1992 African Cup of Nations competition, former Black Stars defender Tony Bafo has debunked claims by his former teammate Tony Yeboah that he refused to hand over the captain's armband ahead of that final between Ghana and La Côte d'Ivoire. Following the suspension of Abedi Pele, Tony Bafo was handed the captain's armband ahead of Tony Yeboah, who was the deputy to the maestro.
Manager, I didn't have a manager. You know, I always worked with a lawyer. And when I went to France, I worked with Pape Diouf. But generally, I never really had the manager. And to also set the record straight, I saw an interview from Anthony Yeboah where he said that his manager called me and to speak to management that I should hand in the captainship to him. Nobody called me. This is not true. And this is exactly what I can tell you. And I remember also when the late Alhaji Mekano, who was one, for me, DT manager in Psycho-G, also they said there are some rumors going on, something going on, and I said, look, whoever wants to take the captainship can take it. I am not keen on captainship. I can only tell you that when I went to Met, after 3 months, I was named the captain of the team. I don't think that a captainship will make you win trophies.
Now to some La Liga action. Barcelona will resume their La Liga title defense against Real Mallorca following the coronavirus shutdown. Barca will travel to face Real Mallorca on 13th June, 2 days after the season resumes, when Real Betis face Sevilla. Real Madrid, who trail league leaders Barcelona by 2 points after 27 matches, played their first match on 14th June against Eibar. Organizers have only released scheduling details for the first 2 rounds of fixtures, although La Liga chief Javier Tebas confirmed that there will be matches every day of the week until the season is completed on 19th July. Barca also hosts Leganes on 16th June. And Real play at home to Valencia on 18th June. La Liga will be the second of Europe's top 5 leagues to resume after the coronavirus. Social media is sponsored by The Road. You would be amazed how using the right technology for your business can drive an operational efficiency and grow revenue. Instead of picking a solution off the shelves, why not speak to us to understand your business needs and customize application just for you? That's what we do at Impuntu. Focus your work and let us provide you with the right technology. Call us on 0243 375520 or send a mail on marketing@impuntu.com. Now, after we go for a break, and right after that, Insha is next with business.
I'm fine, thank you. How's Dad?
Your dad is fine. Are you me? You have not sent me the money you promised.
I'm so sorry, Mama. I'm gonna do it today.
Send it now before you forget again.
Okay, no problems. I'll do it now. Check.
Are you sure?
Yes, so. And I also paid for your cable, and I'm sending you credit for this long call you're making right now.
Thank you, my son. God bless you.
Alright, Mama. I love you so much. Yeah? I'll speak to you later.
When you drop, everybody know they tired. All of the girls go do anything for my love. All of the boys go do anything for the money. Then they dance to my music and they show me love.
When I was young, I asked my mother the secret of hair vitality and health. She said, the right food, the right exercise, the right amount of sleep and the right blood tonic. Nescafe Blood Tonic is effective for the treatment of anemia, lack of appetite, and stressful conditions in both adults and children.
Nescafe Blood Tonic, the right family blood tonic. Another quality product from Ernest Chemists. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Joy Prime, Hits FM, and the Multimedia Group Limited says thank you. Ayiko. Yenda masalimu juma pa amoye. Frontliners yama wanamo. We say thank you for the good things you are doing for our nation. Yama wanamo. We say thank you for the good things you are doing for our nation. Money, money that you have we singing thank you. Money that you have we're saying thank you. Hey, to our nurses and doctors, we're saying thank you. Military officials, we're saying thank you. Our policemen, we're saying thank you for standing on the front line through this pandemic. We're saying thank you. Our drivers and our farmers, our market women, we're seeing what you're doing. Ayiko, ambulance services, money yo. Our gratitude is a constant reminder to all of those who are making a difference to change the world, a difference to heal the land, a difference to give us lives, and a difference to hold the line. Yeah. Money, we're saying thank you. We say thank you to our media in Ghana, other health workers, sanitation workers, researchers, and everyone holding the line for a better Ghana. Frontliners, Yamawanamo, we say thank you for the good things you are doing for our nation. Yamawanamo, we say thank you for the good things you are doing for our nation.
To all our emergency doctors, you never know who is walking through those doors, but you tend to everybody without fear.
The staff of Noguchi, Kolebu, KCCR, and all other testing centers. Where would we be without you?
We know some of you have been badly affected by this virus, yet you defy the fear of the unknown to fight against this virus on our behalf.
You have been awesome in these trying times. You put your lives on the line every day.
We feel safe because we know you are there. We really do appreciate you all. And what we can say at this moment is thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Akbenami. That's all we can say.
You're welcome back to Prime Morning, and we're talking business. Now, a couple of days ago, well, 2 nights rather, the President addressed the nation and announced the easing of the COVID-19 measures. Well, don't forget, we're still social distancing. But one thing that I really would like to bring your attention to is what's going to happen in the tourism and the hospitality subsector. Now, if you remember, restaurants can now open, and we can all go and eat for as long as the restaurants are practicing social distancing. Now, here's what happens in the economy when that kind of movement happens. Now, you'd recall that the last time you got some good service from your waiter or waitress at your favorite restaurant, you tipped them, right? What you don't realize is that the economy is a subtotal of all the little movements that create wealth. So you give someone a tip, give them a little money, goes into the pot. They are able to take some of that money and spend it on other things. And they can buy some phone credit, and they can send some Momo to a friend. All of those pockets of activity across the economy is what creates the turning of the economy. So our gross domestic, the gross domestic product, the GDP, is actually the sum total of all the economic activities in the economy. Now, we've had some slowdown, largely because of the lockdown and the fact that a lot of the things that we would have otherwise been doing has not been happening. So not a lot of money is changing hands. Now, don't forget, businesses that are on their knees can access loans if they do qualify. And that liquidity is important to see the economy become buoyant all over again. Now, so imagine this jar where all of these many activities are happening and you've got your liquidity in there. Something very interesting will happen to our economy. It will create a level of buoyancy, and that level of buoyancy makes a beautiful economy. And that beautiful economy is one that is productive, everyone makes some money, and we all go home happy. That's been business. We'll be back with more tomorrow. Until then, bye for now. But stay tuned for more on the Prime Morning, because Beyond the Headlines is up next.
No training, no amount of preparation can get any professional ready for this kind of pandemic.
We feel safe because you know you are there. Thank you, all our frontline health workers.
I want to say thank you to the first responders and the ambulance crew rushing to situations unknown.
The call center operatives who stay on the other end of the phone lines 24/7. Thank you.
To cleaners at the hospitals and in isolation centers. Today, your job is more dangerous than ever. Thank you, Akpenami.
We feel safe because we know you are there. Thank you, all our frontline health workers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One-year recording deal for 2 singles, 60,000 word of airtime on Joy Prime, 10,000 Ghana cedis cash prize, bragging right of being crowned the ultimate winner, Prime Studio. Remember that you still have what it takes to push your favorite contestant to the top. Who will it be? Melissa, Okesie, Naja, Good Boy Legend, Arte, Wami Sticker, Kisses, Wami T, Mickey J, and Kobe G. Vote for your favorite contestant by texting PS followed by the name of your favorite contestant to the short code 1903. Prime Studio, rock the world.
Joy Prime, real entertainment.
1-year recording deal for 2 singles, 60,000 word of airtime on Joy Prime, 10,000 Ghana cedis cash prize, bragging right of being crowned the ultimate winner, Prime Studio. Remember that you still have what it takes to push your favorite contestant to the top. Who will it be? Melissa, Okesie, Naja, Good Boy Legend, Arte, Wami Sticker, Kisses, Wami T, Mickey J, and Kobe G. Vote for your favorite contestant by texting PS followed by the name of your favorite contestant to the short code 1903. Prime Studio, rock the world.
Joy Prime, real entertainment.
training. No amount of preparation can get any professional ready for this kind of pandemic.
We feel safe because we know you are there. Thank you, all our frontline health workers.
I want to say thank you to the first responders and the ambulance crew rushing to situations unknown.
The call center operatives who stay on the other end of the phone lines 24/7. Thank you.
To cleaners at the hospitals and in isolation centers. Today, your job is more dangerous than ever. Thank you, Akbenami.
We feel safe because we know you are there. Thank you, all our frontline health workers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you're welcome back. This is still Prime Morning here on Joy Prime. My name is Daniel. It's time for us to go beyond the headlines. But before we go beyond the headlines, what are the headlines? The most common story this morning was the story of the suspension of the resumption of mass church activities. Are they really mass activities? We have the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Kofi Jamesi, asking for churches to constitute COVID-19 task forces. That's what the Finder says. Let me see what the Daily Statesman says. Errant churches and mosques will be closed down. That's what Kojo Oprong Krumah is telling us here. Information Minister. We have a pastor speaking, Osofo Chiabosom, who wants to run for president. He says that let's suspend mass church activities. That's his message out there. Front page of New Crusading Guide there. We'll go to the Ghanaian Times now. Don't rush to open churches. Clergy urges restraint. So they're saying that even though we can now open churches, let's not rush to do that. Front page of the Daily Guide newspaper as well. 100 worshippers, 1 hour, says Nanado. So that's a snapshot of what the headlines are saying. Let's first of all listen to Kofi Jamesi, after which we'll go on social media and find out what you are saying about what the Minister for Religious Affairs and Chieftaincy announced last night. Let's listen to him.
Guns or thermal scanners are provided for checking the temperature of migrants at entry points of all venues as necessary. Ensure no mask, no entry policy. 3. Provision of hand washing facilities with running water and soap and or FDA approved facilities, being scarves, being liners, and single-use tissues. Provision of adequate toilet facilities for use by members. Regular cleaning and disinfection of frequently used communal places like toilet surfaces and frequently touched surfaces such as doorknobs or handles, preferably every 1 to 2 hours depending on the rate of utilization. Designate a holding room or area where a person who becomes sick at the premises or at an event can be isolated from others while making arrangements for evacuation. Regular disinfection of venues used by churches, preferably once every month. For example, fumigation and disinfection must be carried out with a very recognized entities. Train cleaners with the necessary personal protective equipment and cleaning items to clean the facilities regularly and handle waste appropriately. Provide adequate ventilation, that is, open windows to allow for maximum circulation of fresh air. If possible, avoid confined air-conditioned rooms. Display approved health promotion materials on COVID-19 at vantage points to remind congregants to keep to social distancing protocols, wearing of the mask, regular hand washing, coughing and sneezing etiquette. Ensure a no handshake, no hugging and no spitting policy at all times. Follow established evacuation procedures as outlined in Annex 1 to enable evacuation if a congregant becomes sick during the event and has to be evacuated. Form COVID task force comprising of members who are preferably health workers. Pre-packaged communion bread and wine should be picked up by members at the point of entry. Place offering bowls at the entrance and exit points for members to give offerings and tithes when entering or on their way out of church premises. Encourage cash transfers via mobile money or mobile banking as forms of giving offerings. Laying on of hands should not be allowed.
One thing is for sure, church will never be the same. But let's look at what you have been saying about the minister's statements. Jay Foley is back in studio to help us with us. Jay.
You know, the part that even just freaks me on this. And so imagine you sitting in church and taking out your mobile phone to actually send a mobile money as offering. You know, when clearly in church we say no mobile phones to be used. But that's just one side of the worry. Let's go on to our social media powered by Dero this morning as well. Now, the analytics here will surprise you that even though the ease on restrictions have happened, well, we have 53% of our comments coming in saying negative and a lower 38.46% saying positive. So this means clearly that people still aren't comfortable with the opening of the churches.
Interesting. Well, what was the question anyway?
Well, the question was simple. So will you still go to church or mosque with all the restrictions, being eased? And we had about just 77% saying that, they were not too sure what they were going to do yet. But anyway, let's read some comments coming in, starting off with some positive comments here. Sir Collins, if I can just have this come back a little bit up for me. So Sir Collins says, no, because my body is the temple of God, we can worship with our families in various homes. Well, in as much as there's humor in there, it's still passing a very strong message.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very strong message.
My body is the temple of God.
Oh, yes. Well, from Ogbaji, a very hard negative comment saying that I will go to church, but I will not go to the mosque. Now, I want to make the comparison.
No one is asking you to do both.
Exactly. Well, this one from Eugene Sapon says, ambiguity. Interesting. Abdul says, no, I'm not going until such a time I'm confident the virus has been eradicated. He says, if MPs, despite their strict adherence to COVID-19 protocols, can get infected with the virus, then it's a joke to follow any so-called safety protocols. Now, in addition, I will not even register for the voter ID card if your leaders can't prioritize our public safety. We have to be responsible for our own safety as well. A very interesting point there, saying that I'm very sure with regards to the infections recorded in Parliament, if it's true or false, which I'm still asking, is that true or false?
Well, it hasn't been confirmed officially by Parliament, but our sources tell us, and we heard Muntaka Mubrak tell us, that was true.
Well, let's go on to a positive comment here from To Alicia. Says, yes, I will go to church. With God, all things are possible. And that's a very Ghanaian person talking right there. Lastly, real quickly, from Sandinsky and Ada Joseph, both are saying that the most important thing on earth is to worship God. But for your question, it's a big no. Lastly,
that's a no disguised as a positive
comment. That's a positive comment, I know, right? And lastly, I will worship God in the house. Well, says Ada Joseph.
So he's still not going to church.
Yeah, still not going to church.
Wow.
So these are comments coming on social media. Please feel free to just comment and share your opinion with us on Joy Prime Official. We'll love to hear you, empowered by Dero, our social media conversations. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Jay. And let's quickly go on our Zoom now and speak with our guest, Dr. Michael Owusu, who is a virologist, and Notedia is a psychologist. He is host of Ultimate Health here at Joy, on Joy FM to be precise. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, Dan.
Good morning.
Let me begin with Dr. Michael Owusu and just inform viewers that we'll soon be joined by Dr. Lawrence Tete, head of Lawrence Tete Ministries. He is elected to join us this morning. So, Dr. Owusu, first of all, we haven't had your comments since the president spoke. Would you say these measures are adequate?
Yes, good morning to you. Good morning to your viewers. And I looked at the measures, look very detailed, but look more theoretical to the best of my understanding, because this can best be practiced by the very learned churches, especially those in the cities like Accra and Kumasi. But I believe that a lot of intensive education is needed if we have to practice this at the lower levels, which is where the problem would be.
Okay.
A lot of the lower level churches, where they are hard to reach areas where most people find it difficult to understand the infection prevention control measures, which we normally talk about in public health. For me, this is where the work will be, and the days we have just about 5 days or so for this to be implemented to the letter, for people to be educated. And in Ghana, if you take Islamic communities and church communities, we form close to 90%. It means that almost everybody is religious. So if you have 1 week to disseminate the information down to the ordinary person, I think that a lot of work is needed. And I think if the protocols are they are quite detailed, and I wonder how many of the people in the local areas can digest these protocols and implement them. And then also to talk about the fact that some of the structural setup of the churches will not allow for this to happen. There are churches with windows that cannot be opened because they are set up for air conditions. So if you tell them to open windows for ventilation, it's almost impossible.
Right.
And in these kind of churches, some of we are talking about may not happen. And also some may not have holding rooms. There are churches without holding rooms. So if you say people are sick and they should place in holding rooms, it's almost difficult to understand. And also to add that there's likelihood of stigma that will arise. If people are in church, they know themselves, and then people are coughing and sneezing, they are tested, and some all of a sudden they are not coming to church again, they become positive. The same church members who begin to stigmatize their own colleagues and also begin to set another round of conversation as to stigma and all this. And this is what other issue I've seen, which I don't know how we're going to address it.
Interesting.
And also to add to this, Daniel, to add to this, I think we are focusing on churches, but then this expands beyond churches. Healing centers, we have healing centers around. We have shrines also around. This is where people go to seek medical care. And as we have to learn lessons from Ebola season, where people rush to healing centers and shrines to seek help. So it is possible that those in isolation centers, who are close to about 6,000 people, many of them may run to these healing centers. Many of them will run to the shrines to seek help, medical help, with the hope that they can get cured from COVID disease from this. So it is much complex, and I think that once we want to go by this measure, then a lot of intensive education, a lot of monitoring, a lot of surveillance is needed if we have to achieve any good results from this.
Let me take some of your concerns to Nortey. Now, Nortey, what kind of discipline do we need? Listening to Dr. Owusu, what kind of discipline do we need to internalize and own these measures? Right, so Nortey is with us. He is a psychologist, and listening to what Dr. Michael Owusu has been saying, we want to get from him what kind of discipline we need. Nortey, I think we can hear you now. Let's go ahead and deal with that question. Yes, you're live.
Okay, right. Good morning to you, Dan, and our discerning listeners and viewers, and morning to Dr. Michael Owusu. It's an interesting pairing because this is essentially biology versus behavior, right? We know the biological fact. We know we're dealing with a viral infection or a viral disease. We know the mode of transmission. Hence the leverage we sought to gain by restricting movement, right? You recall that we said the front line is indeed your front line, your doorstep. So we went through a period of restricted movement. That is involuntary. We had no choice. So involuntary discipline versus voluntary discipline, Daniel, is what we're looking at now. And essentially, I think the government is trying to say, after employing these methods, we are confident enough to say now we can move to voluntary discipline. I tend to have a different view, because you need to tell me what you achieved when you said, for example, an upper threshold or limit of 25 persons for a funeral, a private funeral. Now you've moved it to 100 persons. You must be able to demonstrate to me that margin of confidence, right? That says now you can have 100 persons who are Ghanaians attend the funeral, and you think that is safe to do within certain restrictions and observations. So that's a huge dose of voluntary discipline, behavioral modification. So that's where the questions lie. And I agree with Dr. Michael Owusu that this is not just about churches, right? Pardon?
Right. Nota, I was just asking if we have that discipline. You talked about voluntary discipline for these 100 people. We know it's not just about churches. Do we have that discipline?
See, that's our own multimedia, right? We have some people who wear the mask appropriately and consistently. We have some who have it hanging around their chin or their chest. We have some who will not wear it at all. We need to look at the issue of peer persuasion. Am I able to convince you, Daniel, to do the right thing? Am I so convinced myself, such that if you release me into the public domain or space of a church or a spare parts market, right, or a transport yard, am I going to consistently be able to adhere to these things? And this is where we need to look at the mixed messaging, because we're giving a message that says doing well. We've got 8,000 and upward of cases. We've got 36 deaths, and I think 2 something, I've forgotten the other indices. But you're telling people that we're doing well. Hence, we can loosen the restriction whilst we continue to see an upward progression of cases, right? And I think I listened to Jay Foley share the social media messages where people are saying, well, I am still anxious. I am not convinced. So you can announce a return to work, you can announce a loosening of measures, but you need that social collaboration, that ownership that people have. So what capacity do the churches have? What are their structural challenges? And how should I say, ineffective have online services been for the churches that are using them? What does it mean when you go? Are you going to go to church in shit? Let's operationalize these measures and not just announce them and then come back and complain and say market women did not comply, churches did not comply, and then we have shut them down. And let me quickly add. Let me just quickly add this.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Right? You see, when the danger was new, novel, and we're all scared, we shifted into modes of behavior that we never thought of, almost overnight. But after some time, there's message fatigue, and you have to reinforce the message and make sure that you break it down. When you open schools or when you say final year students can go back, what is the modus operandi? How are lecture halls going to be readjusted or modified? And these are the key things that we need to see, so that when there's a deviation from it, each and every one of us using peer persuasion can encourage the other person to do the right thing. And I think that is where we are lacking.
Let me go back to Dr. Owusu now. Having heard what we've heard about how there's a need for self-regulation, there's a need for people to have voluntary discipline, would you say that we have demonstrated that, given the mode of spread that we've seen, given what you have, what you have observed in the testing, in the protocols that have been applied already, Dr. Owusu?
Well, I think that it's a phase that we have to move into with this virus. You cannot forever sit home. You cannot forever say you wouldn't undertake any activity. So far as you go through this, it is a phase. You go through phases to ensure that these restrictions are open. But then behavioral issues is one thing that is very, very significant in dealing with pandemics of this nature. And Brazil is a clear example where, because of behavior and communication challenges, initially people thought that they could go out and then they could have their own thing. But then I think they are the fourth globally in terms of the number of deaths and the number of cases. So this is where it's been tested time again that behavior, we are not so much, very much disciplined when it comes to health, infection prevention control measures. It's not part of us. We have lived in a system where we are used to the things we always do. So this virus is trying to turn us around, to try to make us rather behave in a certain way. It took us almost 2 to 3 weeks for us to learn how to put on mask. And even now, people are struggling to learn how to handle mask. So behavior and the way we respond is very, very difficult for us. This is why the procedures for it to become a part and parcel of our life before you add on other phases. So I think that this is where we have to go, of course, because we cannot sit home. But then once we implement the measures, there is a need for us to put in mechanisms and systems to ensure that there is active monitoring and surveillance, to also ensure that people understand what they are dealing with, so that in case there are surges and there are infections, we can easily take care of people. I mean, the goal is to protect the vulnerable. This is what should be our goal. Left to the young and the youth, we wouldn't have a problem. But because of the few vulnerable people, we have to do everything to help them. And you see, we must understand what is happening in the population. The virus feeds on the susceptible populations. So it does move. It is gradually closing in on the susceptible population. It's not as if it is gone. As more people become infected, the few vulnerable people is closing down on them. And I know there are people who have not yet been exposed to the virus, and there are a number of them around, even including children less than 5 years. We don't understand how they will respond when this virus hits them. This is why it is good to always go slowly, to see that if people are infected, you can manage them in the health. If many of them become infected at a go, you may lose some of them. So playing around this and ensuring that you balance so that the few vulnerable people, you don't expose them to high risk, is what must be the goal, which is what we have to.
Thank you so much, Doc. Let's quickly get a word from Dr. Lawrence Tetteh. He's the president of Lawrence Tetteh Ministries. He's an evangelist and a pastor. He joined us via phone. Dr. Tetteh, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
So, first of all, your quick reaction to these measures that you've heard the president announce and the Minister for Religious Affairs and Chieftaincy put out.
It's unfortunate I couldn't connect my Zoom, so I was not really following all the discussions that you had with the other panelists. But I think that it calls for massive prayer now. Everybody is trying to look for a solution, and certainly we know the scientists don't have solution yet. So whatever direction the scientists bring is a trial and error solution to make sure everybody is kept safe. So I think I will encourage the churches to use this 1 hour time to pray for God's divine intervention. We need it like never before. Until this virus is over and is clear, we will have to go through these challenges, unfortunately. And we need everybody to follow the sciences at least, also be as balanced as possible, so we can, certainly this virus is going to change our approach to church services, and we should just be ready for the transformations to make sure that we keep our churches and our members safe. Unfortunately, I couldn't get onto the Zoom, so I couldn't follow the discussion.
Let me bring you some of the thoughts that have been brought up. Dr. Owusu earlier mentioned that we may have a challenge with structures. You know, some of the church buildings that we have may not have holding centers that we can put someone, we can isolate someone quickly if we find the person has the disease, or some of them may not even have sanitary facilities like bathrooms on their premises. What would be your advice to people like that? Should they decide to stay at home and not have their services, or try and put some structural changes? What would you say there, Doc?
I think our leaders should be informed enough to put structures in place. Sometimes when we make the blanket conclusion like that, it deprives certain people who generally have put structures in place. Even at the market and in parliament and on most of the social gathering places, whether we like it or not, the structures are not there. But people, nobody wants to die. So certainly no church leader wants to see his church members die. So they will try as much as possible. And that's what we are doing within the community, to put the structures in place so that at least everybody will be kept safe. So I think we all have to go back to the drawing board. We need a massive united front in this. Dialogue, consultation, following science, and following the principles will help all of us to be safe from this pandemic.
Great. And finally, of course, we will take a bit more thoughts and a bit more reactions from you on what has been said. But a point has been made about discipline, Dr. Tete, and how this requires a high level of discipline from the individual if they would work. A lot of people say notoriously that Ghanaians are not disciplined. How do we ensure discipline when we are going to church on Sunday?
I think that's why it's a learning curve for all of us. The coronavirus has humbled everybody. At least for the many years I've lived in Ghana as a Ghanaian, I've realized that at least people have realized the effectiveness of washing hands and keeping certain hygienic principles. So I think the church can follow up on that. A very good pastor and a very good leader will have an apostolic oversight over the church. And these are the things that we should be knocking into the heart and the mind of our followers. And that even in scripture, holiness is next to godliness. And so once we do that, it helps us to be able to help the community even live a healthy life. Remember, it is not just coronavirus who should let us be disciplined. There are so many viruses and sicknesses that are flying around that we need to be very hygienic-minded enough and be disciplined enough to keep our health safe.
Dr. Tete, just hold on a moment for us. Note on this issue of discipline, we've seen that the first line of regulation has been placed at the church's doorstep. For a voluntary organization which is operating on its own, how do we ensure that the churches keep to these rules, Note, or should we go back to the law enforcement agencies and the district assemblies?
Right. I like the points made by my two co-panelists or resource persons. Dr. Usu said this is a necessary transition. We can't stay locked down forever or restricted forever. That is true. Reverend has also said that the churches have leadership and they must take the challenge seriously. I've also said that here ways to do what the average person do, you're more likely to copy and do. So we must each model the right behavior. Yesterday I had a plumber do something for me. He appeared. I needed his services. But I said, why are you not wearing a mask? I'm wearing a mask. Okay, Daniel, I've had somebody wash my car. I said, I break you for you to infect me. And then they all had masks in their pockets. And I said, look, you must protect your business and protect yourself. So it's not just about the social impact, the economic impact. One case means a shutdown and the mobilizing of resources to trade contact. Can you get in multimedia or Joy FM and shutting down that business unit? So we must take ownership of this responsibility and the stakes that are very, very high for us. You want to sell watching, go protect yourself. Watch your people don't come to patronize your watching. So that's the transition. And that's where the discipline should come. But also, we need to break these things down. And I must emphasize, Daniel, that you see, punishment and enforcement becomes less effective over time, over our experience and exposure to this challenge. Okay? So initially you get people, but you will find people want to now rebel. And you're seeing it in other parts of the world. We want to go to the beach. Okay. You can or you may go to the beach under these conditions, and this is how it has to be done. And we must also show as a nation that we have the wherewithal and the capacity to make sure it happens and it unfolds that way. Otherwise, as leaders, as health practitioners and so on, we are also failing. Right? So this is the important thing. It must be supported. And lastly, Tanya, these measures do not stand in isolation. Whatever the churches are doing is dependent on what Dr. Usu is doing as well, and what somebody else is doing down the line, right? It's a multidisciplinary, multi-sectorial onslaught against this virus. So it's not as if social distancing or restricted church numbers is the end-all and the be-all. It must be complemented by the education, the information out there, and the continuous reinforcement of good health-promoting behavior. Let's clap for those who are doing the right thing, so that those who are doing the wrong thing are exposed and feel obliged to make a change in their behavior. But if we allow people to we patronize their services, we patronize their churches, and so on and so forth, we are undermining the message and we are undermining the effectiveness of Ghana's response to COVID. So this is the important thing. If you have the privilege of being at work today and you haven't lost your job, you need also to be able to do some of these things to protect the job.
Right.
And you are able to act.
Okay, Note, thanks so much. I'll take a final word from Dr. Tete, and if I still have Dr. Lawrence Tete with us. On this point of if you enforce the laws too much, people will rebel, and that's what Notedia said. What would you say in that direction? Do you think that the authorities, for instance, should go more with education and enforcement of the law?
I think we need a consensus here. As a matter of fact, this thing is in the interest of everybody. We should not take advantage to brutalize very vulnerable people. We need to come together to deal with this pandemic. Certainly, no church leader wants to see his members die. I sit here today as an evangelist. I don't want to die. Neither do I want any member of my family or my followers to die. There's no reason why. Even people I don't know, I don't want them to die. So all of us must adhere to the principles and make sure we have reasonable reason to put ourselves together. It's very unfortunate that I'm not able to get to the Zoom now, so I couldn't even follow the discussion and the point everybody is making, so I can form a very balanced opinion.
Yeah, but you really helped the conversation anyway. In any case, Doc, I just wanted to know quickly. So I know you're mainly an evangelist, but you have a flock that you pastor. Will you be opening church on Sunday?
I do have church without walls.
Yeah. So would you be going to church on Sunday? Would you be opening?
Yes, I'm going to church on Sunday.
And
as an evangelist, I go from church to church, and so certainly I'll definitely join the church service on Sunday.
Okay, and all the protocols and the 1 hour service, the social
distancing. The thing is, we shouldn't let that be the issue. The issue is that everybody wants solution. Trust me, I can imagine the frustration leadership anywhere is going on now around the nations of the world, where you have scientists, you have medics, you have people who seem to know how advising you. Unfortunately, in every part of the world, there can even be people who can be very strong anti-Christian, who will give certain advices that does not really help the Christian community. But the most important thing is that let us use this time to pray and believe God for direction. May God bring to pass the pandemic. We will go back to our normal life again. Personally, our life will not be normal until everything is over. So let's believe God for a divine intervention. Everybody, regardless of their race, color, creed, or sex, or political affiliation, we need a divine intervention, which is a miracle. And that miracle can only come from God. Because we all know that as we speak now, science has no solution. As great as some our medics and our scientists are, they themselves know how vulnerable they are. Because this pandemic doesn't pick and choose. And so we need the hand of God, the finger of God, and that is our best excellent solution.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lawrence Tete, for joining us this morning. Thank you as well, Dr. Michael Owusu is a virologist with KCCR, and Notedia is a psychologist. We examined really how we are going to apply the protocols that the Minister for Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs, Kofi Jamesi, announced last night. Keep your comments coming through on social media. We'll go through them during the Have Your Say segment. My name is Daniel Daze. This has been Beyond the Headlines.
What do you want?
Say you casaluna, what's a wonko, now so would shrinkwa. Some aquacosia, CB herbal soap. No one shall me now.
One 19 a pie, and now say I had the insua. For CB herbal soap, so 19 any 1 room. Germany 10 minutes, and sana would the ebo and now say can't get to a rever if you na kama. Shannon so say, yam fans rye 9 any yam. CB herbal soap, a 90 ma pro, a fee any encaboni.
Hey, Mido, yes. Okay, you CB herbal soap, a get to Mancasa. Come now. Suziana, Ghana money member Damasi.
FDA Ashusha Sa Ejedi Enkratoimu Ajiatumuse.
Let's show the world how good we are with our essays. Joy Learning Essay Club on Facebook offers junior high and senior high students an excellent opportunity to show the world how well they can write. In only 200 words, write on the topic for the month. How can Ghana make e-learning accessible to all? Your essay must have your name, your age, a contact number, and your school. Send us a direct message of your essay to Facebook at Joy Learning TV. Yes, on our Facebook page. Win the loudest applause from us and become an ambassador for Joy Learning. Remember, the deadline is Monday, 25th May 2020. Essay Club is brought to you by Joy Learning. Joy Learning. Keep learning.
Success in every endeavor requires critical partnership. When it comes to consumer home electronics, quality from Syndicated Capital is your trusted partner. Not just any TV, but the quality satellite and digital LED TV provides inbuilt satellite and digital decoders, over voltage protection, free wall mount, and now a state-of-the-art surround sound bar to deliver an unparalleled entertainment experience. Not just any decoder, quality digital and satellite combo decoders come with auto scan, voltage protector, NCA approval, multi-TV certification, unlimited internet content, and 24/7 movies online. Quality products are available on hire purchase to private and government workers, police and army personnel for as low as 27 Ghana cedis per month. Call us on 0302 24.
Yeah. Stay safe. Wash your hands at the running water for at least 20 seconds. Sanitize your hands and please stay at home. There comes a time when we hear a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying from coronavirus. It's time to lend a helping hand. If we listen day by day to wash our hands and try to stay at home, 'cause we are all part of God's great big family. And it's true, the love is all we need. hands day by day. Remind someone to do the same thing too. 'Cause there's a chance we make it. We're saving our own lives. It's true. We know love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's stay at home.
Welcome back to Prime Morning, and this is Good Living. My name is Emefa Kutsiadeti. Now, today we are talking about child care generally, and even zooming into newborns, toddlers, infants, especially in this COVID-19 era. We have a backstory. Let's watch, and then we'll come back into the studio. Stay with us.
From the labor ward and its accompanying new protocols to early discharge after delivery, seeing your pediatrician over a screen instead of in person, to shopping for all the essentials needed, COVID-19 has created a challenging new reality for maternity and care for newborns. Like Navia Singh, an international expert in maternal psychology and behavioral or mental health solutions, best puts it, the postpartum period is usually filled with joy for most new parents. But in the current scenario, most are faced with a new way of life, and there can be an increase in levels of anxiety and depression. These statistics may show limited infections in infants and children. However, additional measures are touted by professionals to ensure topmost safety of mother and child, given that viral and bacterial infections in young children pose dire consequences. This week on Good Living, we focus on general child care during COVID-19, starting off with our newborns. I'm inside Airport Women's Hospital, particularly maternity ward, where all the magic happens. And I'm going to be talking to Doris Kaki, and she's a midwife here at the Airport Women's Hospital. Hi, Doris.
Hi, I'm a fan.
Today, you just have to tell us basically what you used to do even before COVID-19. I mean, there's been discussion of, let's talk about the new normal. The new normal is prepping and getting ready if COVID-19 is going to be living with us for a while. What differently have you been doing, and what continuously are you going to be doing? That's all. I'm not here to give birth. Okay? All right. All right, so the midwife is prepped up. She's so ready to give life, help give life to another person. And you were assisted. You've got your spectacles, your nose masks, and what's this called again? The cover up?
It's a gown.
It's a gown. Okay, so you're just going to take us to how eventually we'll hear the cry of a baby in the ward. Okay.
This is my sterile field where my delivery equipment and everything are on it. This is sterile. That's why I was able to use my sterile hands to remove it. Okay, so this our laboring mother, she's Esther, Madam Esther. Madam Esther, you wouldn't be needing a nose mask because you need a lot of energy to push your baby out. And with the nose mask, it prevents you from grasping the room air to push baby out. That is why we've taken the nose mask off. And then you are protected because we are all wearing it, so there is no need for you to be afraid. Okay. So previously, when a laboring client enters, she goes through the normal process, being admitted, goes through the delivering process, just the normal. But now, because of COVID-19 that has now been in Ghana, we normally have a hand washing area in front of our hospital where every client washes his or her hands, and then also goes through the triaging process whereby the temperature and other few questions are being asked before the client is allowed in. And then also now we have a lot of disposables. Previously we were using reusable equipment, but now most of our equipment are disposables. So we don't normally reuse it for other clients. Just use it for one and then you dispose it off. Due to the COVID-19 period, now we don't allow the grandmothers, the grandfathers to come closer to the babies because they are old age and they are risk factors to what we call the COVID-19 as we have now. So we don't allow them to come closer to the babies except the dad and then the mother.
You have seen everything that happens inside the maternity ward, especially in the hospitals. Now today we are at the Airport Women's Hospital. Now hospitals are ensuring that newborns plus their mothers are adhering to very good protocols so that the babies are also protected from COVID-19. Now big question that you and I should ask is, what happens beyond the maternity ward? What should a mother be doing? Let's talk to a pediatrician inside the studio.
Welcome back, and the pediatrician is here inside the studio. Dr. Hilda Mantebia-Boy is a pediatrician at the Korle Bu Teaching Hospital. Thank you for joining me once again today at the studio.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, so we have seen the magic that happens in the maternity ward.
Yes.
We've seen that hospitals and even maternity wards are ensuring they're adhering to protocols.
Yes.
And so we trust the health system that they're doing their best to protect children or newborns, you know, from COVID-19. Now the challenge is, after the baby has been brought home, the question is, what should the mother be doing? Generally, you want to share with us how a mother should even be taking care of a newborn first, and then you now narrow it down to this era of COVID-19.
Okay, so let's zoom in. All right, so for newborn care, we will say usually that newborns look very beautiful, but when you bring them home...
Are they?
Oh, they are very
I think
beautiful.
they're scary.
Oh!
Okay.
They are really nice,
okay,
until you realize that you can't sleep at night.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so caring for the newborn is a lot of work, and COVID-19 has come to complicate a lot of things for a lot of us. But one of the main things for us as like Ghanaians, you know, usually a lot of people will come and visit the baby, want to come and see the mother and all. But within the first few weeks, we think that it's just okay for people to stay away a bit so that the mother can get a bit of rest, because some, you know, because the sleep pattern of the newborn, they are not sleeping well during the day. They are not sleeping well at night. They sleep better during the day, and it could be on and off, a bit unpredictable sometimes. So it puts a lot of stress on the mother, because mother may not be able to sleep as she used to at night. So she'll be getting up to do breastfeeds. Baby may just not be sleeping for one reason or the other. So it's really a stressful time to go through. So within the first few weeks, if people can just stay away a bit, and especially with the COVID-19, we know that it's better to just stay away also to prevent or reduce the chances of infecting other people. So this just reinforces it, that we should allow our mothers, parents, to rest during that period so that they can get better quickly and have time for baby.
Okay.
Then the other thing, you want everything, don't you? Or you can't take it all?
I totally do.
Okay, all right. So we've talked a bit about the sleep habit.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about reasons why babies cry, for instance. So you may have a newborn who is crying for many reasons.
Why do they cry though?
Sometimes they are crying because they are feeling cold.
Okay, that's just
or
a silly
because
question,
they are
but really.
feeling. No, it's important.
Okay.
You'll be amazed that even doctors who have had babies, some of them have some of these challenges because they didn't know. You know, seeing somebody in hospital or taking care of a baby in hospital is different from carrying the baby home to be with the baby 24 hours every day of the week. So there are differences. Yes. So as baby is home, for instance, baby may cry for many reasons. Whether they are cold or hot, they will cry. if the temperature is right, they'll be okay. But if too hot, too cold, they'll cry. The other thing is that if they have soiled their diapers, for instance, so the diaper is wet, they are going to cry because it makes them uncomfortable. If they are hungry, they'll cry. And often you hear that babies eat and sleep. They eat and sleep.
It's
so
a full-time job.
Full-time job. Once your baby is breastfeeding, feeding, sleeping well, you know that baby is fine.
Okay. Now, I'm quite concerned about the 6 months exclusive breastfeeding. We've seen that at the maternity ward, the mother who is in labor does not wear nose masks because of for the COVID-19. I mean, before that they were not wearing nose masks, but now they explain that because the mother needs air to be able to have enough energy to push the baby. Now, after they've come home, should the mother still protect herself breastfeeding the baby? Should the mother protect herself or not?
Okay, so if they have come home and mother doesn't have COVID-19, baby is also fine, no COVID-19, then there's no need for her to wear the mask when she's breastfeeding the baby. Once established, no infection, like there's no problem. If there's a reason to say that this mother may have COVID-19, so for instance, if there's a fever, there's some difficulty breathing, cough, and we suspect, we do the test, find that it's COVID-19, then she will have to wear the mask when she's breastfeeding. But whether even she has COVID-19 or not, she still has to breastfeed baby.
I was coming to my question that if a mother should test positive and she's still in the 6 months period of breastfeeding, she should still go ahead?
She will still go ahead and breastfeed baby.
How would she do that safely?
She can wear the mask, do the breastfeed, and then after that, if babies like try to maintain the distance when necessary, but for feeding it's possible. If she's ill and can express the breast milk, for instance, and she's not together with baby, if she's very unwell.
What do you mean by express the breast milk?
Express, so express meaning that to pump the milk out.
Okay, great.
Yeah, so if she can express the milk, then it can be given to baby under hygienic conditions. But we are still strongly promoting the breastfeeding even during this period because the breast milk contains all that baby needs for the growth and development, and it even helps to give them a boost for their immune system so that they have more protection, or the soldiers in their body that help to fight infection are stronger to fight off all infections, including the COVID-19.
Okay, I don't have an idea how an isolation center looks like, but if a mother tests positive and is supposed to be breastfeeding, is the mother supposed to be isolated with the child, or the mother will be isolated separately, and then when the child needs to breastfeed, they will bring the child? Mind you, the baby is still under 6 months and may be difficult to separate the child. How is it being managed, really?
So it depends. Even for the isolation, depends. There are some whose home situations are good, and so they don't need to be at an isolation center for treatment. So assuming they have the infection all right, but they are generally well, maybe no symptoms, they are otherwise fine. We do what we call home management or the home monitoring. So we just monitor them and then we teach them the protocols that they have to follow. So the safe distancing, the wearing of the mask during the breastfeeding process and all. So these are some of the things, hand washing, all the other things that are mentioned.
I mean, now that you've mentioned hand washing, essentials cannot be overemphasized during this time when a mother is supposed to be taking care of the baby. And so let's take essentials as a main topic for a newborn. What kind of essentials should a mother go out there to buy? I'm sure that there were some particular types that you find in their bag normally, but these are not normal days. So normally, now, what kind of essentials should a mother
So really, it's going to be the same things. The diapers, the clothing.
Should I be wiping the child with something with alcohol based?
Not necessary.
It shouldn't.
Not necessary. And that also means that you have to try and avoid unnecessary contact with other people. Because if you have a lot of people coming in, then they may be holding babies' hands. You know how babies are, they may be rubbing their eyes intermittently without even you noticing, and also you try to avoid people coming in. They do not need any extra alcohol, for instance, but you wash your hands. You know, babies, they're babies. They will not really like go anywhere. They will not be walking about touching too much, but you or somebody will probably have to touch them, especially when they are that young or that little. So they are not as active as the older children. So for them, you have to protect them more than just the sanitizer use or even hand washing.
Okay, I mean, now that you've mentioned the ones that are moving about, the toddlers.
Yes.
Let's move our conversation.
We cannot move to the toddlers without talking about newborn jaundice awareness.
Okay.
So, you know, newborn jaundice is a major thing.
Okay.
If that simply means that you have a baby who has yellowing of the eyes and yellowing of the skin.
Okay.
And this is really, really common in newborns.
It's been common since it didn't start happening now.
Since, yes. And it's something that we realized that it kills babies, can cause them to be disabled. And so we're doing advocacy, we're creating awareness on it. And the month of May was Newborn Jaundice Awareness Month for us at the Pediatric Society of Ghana.
Okay.
Essentially, what we are saying is that know that your baby, especially within the first few days of life, is likely to become yellow.
Okay.
And you have to look out for this yellow actively. If you find it, report to hospital early and get whatever treatment that is needed to be initiated.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, all right. I mean, since you're staying on that, let's probably look out for symptoms a newborn would exhibit so that you're suspected COVID-19 infection. Maybe, symptoms the mother should look out for.
Okay, so it may be the same, like the fever, the cough, the difficulty breathing. It may also be non-specific.
Okay.
Like the baby is just irritable or unwell, you're not too sure what's going on with baby. All those things may be features. And because we are in COVID era, we know that then you have to have a high index of suspicion.
Okay.
Previously, we would have said, oh, maybe a pneumonia, like congenital pneumonia or something, but now you know that it's more likely to be COVID if you have symptoms like that in a baby.
Okay.
But once you have a baby who is not well and you are able to demonstrate a history of contact with someone who has the COVID-19 or the baby is exposed, then the test can be done and then baby can be treated if we find that it's present.
I mean, I would have loved to stay on nutrition for newborns, but I mean, newborns are supposed to feed on the breast milk fully.
Yes,
and
yes.
so we'll talk about nutrition during toddlers. I mean, I've seen toddlers and they are a heartache. They headache. They push anything and everything down. They go everywhere. They're basically you just cannot manage them, really. But mothers still have to go through it. I would have asked, okay, what kind of essentials? But at this point, it means that the mother's focus would have to be on the environment more.
Yes,
Do you
yes.
agree? All right, share with us how a mother can do that.
So within this time, the toddlers, most of them would probably have been in school. The 2s and 3s, a lot of them are in schools, the nurseries, okay, but now they are all at home. Now the thing with toddlers is that they are moving, they are very active, and so they need a lot of supervision. So especially around this time when we're expecting that they would have been in school and that they are home, it means that you need to really arrange for care for them.
Yeah.
So for supervision for them and make sure that you are sort of aware of their every move. Now, whenever you mention toddlers, one very important thing that comes to mind is safety.
Okay.
Home safety, home accidents, accident prevention. These are the things that come to mind because they are actively moving and they can easily pick stuff, put it in their mouths and swallow. They can pick stuff and drink. They can just get hurt, maybe fall over after trying to climb a table, things like that. So we really need to be alert. And for everybody who...
Okay, Doc, actually, this is very important, but I want to share in a stay-at-home mom's experience first.
Okay.
We'll be talking to Louisa Laye. She's a working mom. No, she's the stay-at-home mom is Irene Owusu-Opoku. And we have 3 of them, actually. So there's a working mom, there's a stay-at-home who takes break intermittently, and then there's one who is staying at home purely. Okay. So these are 3 different kinds of mothers. And then we want to share in their experience what they're doing. You probably can pick a thing or 2, and then the doctor would have a basis where she can have give us the advice. So hello, if you can hear me. Hello, Linda.
Hello, this is Louisa.
Okay, thank you. Louisa, you're a working mom. Thank you for joining us this morning.
My pleasure.
Okay, I know how hard and difficult it is, you know, to be working and still managing at home. I just want you to share with me your experience.
I would say it's easy. It's not too easy.
Okay.
The bank I work for has a weekly shift system. And so every other week, I work from home.
Okay.
And then every other week, I work from the office. So I'm working all through and through, but then the venue changes every other week.
Wow.
Now, I have 3 kids.
Okay.
2 preteen girl. And so in our home, we actually run our affairs like an institution.
Okay.
And so we have family meetings. We have, yes, we have family meetings. Each person has their responsibility.
Okay.
And this whole COVID and its management really depends on information and good sources of information.
Okay.
And so we listen to the news together to know what is happening.
Okay.
And then we discuss the news items. So the hand washing, the safety protocols, the nose masks. When there's someone at the gate, before we go to the gate, everybody, whoever is going to the gate has to wear their nose mask and all of that.
Okay.
But coming back to how I'm juggling work and taking care of the home and the family. So everybody in the home has their responsibility. And the kids have to come up with their own schedules every single week.
Okay.
So every week, each one of the 3 has their own schedule. And their schedule comprises school because they're doing online school. So they do online school from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay.
And then after that, they need to take a rest. In between, they take little breaks and they have snack. They also have schedules for workouts. Yes, so they follow their schedule.
Okay.
And depending on whether or not I'm home. Well, if I'm home, I follow their schedule, so I monitor. If I'm not home, I call from the office to find out if they're following their schedule, if school is ongoing, if the teachers are teaching, if they're done with their assignments, if they're submitting their assignments, and so on and so forth. Yes, so it's pretty much...
it's pretty much easy for you as a mother.
Absolutely, because they stick to their schedule.
Louisa, would you share with me their ages? If you said it, I didn't hear. What's their age?
Absolutely. Okay, so the 2 boys are 15 and 14.
Okay.
And then the girl is going on 11.
Okay. Would you say that they understand this whole COVID-19 conversation, and do they show any form of anxiety if you're talking to them about it? If they're watching the news?
No.
Okay.
Because we talk about it every day.
Okay.
And we've told them the need for staying home, the need to practice the safety protocols.
Okay.
They pretty much understand that this disease, once you contract it, you're not guaranteed any cure.
Okay.
And so they're careful, but they're not panicky. No.
Okay. Okay.
Really, there's no point.
There's no point panicking, yeah. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking time off work to talk to us. Thank you so much. You have a great day.
Let me just add one last thing.
Okay.
The not so easy part is the fact that we have to cook and cook and cook and cook during the weekends because they're home and they're eating and eating and eating and eating.
Isn't their fault though?
So that's just about it. But otherwise, they're following their schedules and we're monitoring from wherever we are.
Okay.
So everything seems okay for now.
All right. Thank you so much, Louisa. Do have a great day.
Absolutely, you do same.
All right, so we're going to be talking to Linda Nwelafila, and she is a full stay-home mother in the United Kingdom. If you can hear me, hello, Linda.
Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for making time, and you have beautiful daughters, my goodness. How do you do that? Silly question, don't mind me. But you've been staying home, and how old are they? Will you share their ages with me, please?
I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Okay, please share with me how disastrous it is to monitor these 4-year-old and 2-year-old.
Yeah, it's quite a challenge. I might say, because the 4-year-old is in school, so basically she understands routine and schedule, but the 2-year-old, you know, the terrible twos, she just wants to do whatever. So it's hard to find a balance.
Okay.
So, but we manage it through.
Do you have conversations with them about COVID-19?
Yes, I have, because at the start of it, I made it clear to them, you know, if you ask my 2-year-old what's happening around now, she'll tell you there are germs all over the world. And then my 4-year-old will say, no, mommy, it's coronavirus. Okay. So they know that something is going on. They know that there are germs, and they know the need to wash their hands.
Okay.
And initially, I did a really fun experiment with them to show how important it is to use soap to wash your hands. And so they know, even though they can't see the germs, my 2-year-old sometimes will tell you, Mom, my hands are not dirty. But then I tell her, you can't see the germs, but they're there. So you need to use soap to wash your hands to protect yourself.
Oh, now share with me, you're not going out, you're a full-time stay-at-home mother. If any of your kids are showing symptoms of, you know, illness, headache, fever, what do you do? Do you call your pediatrician? Do you go to the hospital? How are you managing it? Because life is still happening and going on.
What do you mean, if they're unwell or something?
Yes, if they're unwell. If they show any sign of headache, anything, regular unwellness where normally you would have gone to the hospital. Now, do you go to the hospital, or how are you managing it?
Well, here in the UK, we have, you know, NHS 111, which is the first call if it's not an emergency. So they have, you can call or you can check online, and it basically asks you certain questions, and based on your answer, it will give you advice. Okay. So if it's an emergency and you need to go to see a doctor or go to the hospital, it will advise you then. So,
okay.
You know.
My final question will be that they're not going out, you're neither going home, mostly you're not going out as well, mostly you're home. But have you changed their diet in any way, help boost the immune system? What are you doing differently apart from washing the hands?
Well, in terms of food, I mean, everybody that has kids know that they're eating a lot, because eating is one of the things you cope with when you're bored, when your routine is changed. For some people, it's a coping mechanism. So they're snacking all the time and they're eating. They're constantly saying they're hungry. You know, from the moment they wake up, they've had.
Okay. Oh, hope that I didn't lose you.
Offer them the healthier options. So there's the fruits and the veg, as opposed to, you know, the chocolates and sweets, which they can get as a treat once in a while. Oh. But then I encourage that they pick fruits. And initially, for my little ones, what I did was I had a snack box for the day. So I put all their snacks in, and they know this is what they've got for the day. So they've got to manage it and make it last through the day. Okay. And then so I don't get the random question of, Mom, I'm hungry, Mama. They just go to their snack box and they help themselves. And I choose what to put in it, so they have the healthier choice. Okay. So there are several ways. You know, for older kids, I know some of my friends who have teenagers, they give them money. So like today, you've got £1 towards your snacks. Okay. And if you want an apple, this is how much you take. So once it's spent, it's spent. And you make the healthier foods cheaper. So they know they have to spend more. And then the chocolate and the sweets more expensive. So they know if I've got £1, if I'm going to spend £1 on the chocolate, then that's me done for the day. I'll have nothing. So then they will think, okay, maybe I'll have an apple. Then later on I can have a sweet.
Okay,
so
finally,
the ways of going around it.
Okay, finally, before I let you go, would you share with me what activities you're doing, or you know, at home, so that these kids are not robbed of their childhood? What specially are you doing at home?
Yes, we're doing a lot, because for me as a mother, when all this is over, you know, a couple of months, a couple of years along the line, I don't want them to remember that they missed out, that they couldn't see their grandparents or their friends. I want them to remember that they stayed at home, spent time with mom, and they had fun. They did the things that they enjoyed. So we do a lot of fun experiments, and these are very simple things that you can use, basic household ingredients in your cupboard to just wow your kids, and then they learn through that. My kids are at the age where they learn through play.
Okay.
So you may think for them they're having fun, but then they're learning their colors, they're learning how things react to each other, they're learning, problem solving. So we do a lot of painting, we do a lot of coloring, we go on nature walks. And so all these things help. And as if you can see behind me, I've got loads of things that they have done, a lot of paintings and a lot of craft, and there's a lot of cooking involved. So basically, just get them involved in your everyday activity. Let them help with the cooking. Let them help with the laundry. Kids love to get involved. It makes them feel safe. Try and maintain as much of the normal activity as possible, just to reassure them, because they're struggling just as we are all coping with this COVID-19. So you need to make life as normal as possible. Let them have fun, let them play, doing things with them.
Okay. You know what? We've learned so much, and thank you so much, Linda. Do have a great day, and kisses to the kids as well.
Pardon?
Do have a great day, and thank you for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Bye-bye.
Bye. Now, so finally, we'll be talking to Irene Owusu-Opoku. She's both a stay-at-home mother and also a working mother. Would also take her experience with her children as well. And then we're back into the studio. Hello, Irene, if you can hear me.
Hello, good morning.
Hi.
Thanks for having me here.
Oh, thank you for joining us. Good morning. So your work is, you're sometimes at home and sometimes at work. Let me see how you're able to balance the two.
Okay, thank you, and good morning to the listeners. Yes, my work is both at home and also I need to leave for the work sometimes. I have a quite flexible schedule, even though it's quite full, we are managing. Okay. And before even the COVID, it's been so, it's not too different from what is happening now with my schedule.
Okay. So anytime you go out to work and you get home, share with me first things that you do. What do you do? Making sure that your children are safe.
Yeah, that is, I follow the normal protocol.
Okay.
And usually what happens, like in real life, when you come back from work, the kids are so happy to see you. They're excited. They just can't wait to hug you. Hello, mommy. And they are just willing to hug you. But now things are a bit changed.
Yeah.
What happens immediately I come back from work, they just hello, mommy. They keep shouting, but they cannot just rush to hug.
Okay.
And I see that as a positive sign. I also say, okay, I'm home. Let me first wash my hands before we can hug. They keep waiting and jumping at a particular place for me to wash my hands.
Oh, that was
before they hug me. So that is.
What are their ages? Share with me, please.
Oh, they are little. One is 5, almost to 6, and one is 3, almost to 4.
Would you say that they understand the whole conversation happening around COVID-19?
To some extent, they do, except that they really don't understand the dynamics.
Okay.
To be honest with you, they keep asking, so when will Corona go? When would we start doing this? Where did Corona come from? And all that. They seem to understand, but really they don't clearly understand where it came from, the dynamics, the origin, and the epidemiology aspects. Of course, you don't expect them to get.
Yeah.
But I think that they have some basic concepts because I talk to them about it. Basic, but the right information I try to share with them.
Okay.
So they do understand somehow, and with pictures, they can understand that it's something like a new thing that is disturbing them, like a germ. That's all they know.
Okay, now finally, before I let you go, when you're not, or if you're not at home, what measures have you put in place so that the children can follow and you're sure that they're safe?
And so when I'm not at home, I think that the best thing that's helping me so far is a schedule.
Okay.
We have a schedule whether I'm at home or not.
Okay.
And their school is also doing well. They provide them with some online tutorials and classes. So at least that keeps them busy for a while, at least 3 to 4 hours. They are busy with their work. Whether I'm in or not, they have to do it. And then also I make sure that intermittently I stop work, call on them, check on them. And even when I'm home, I try to sneak just to check what they are doing, and then have some integration of work and play too. It also gets them at ease. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Irene. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to us. And we wish you all the best in this journey of motherhood and also combining it with work. Okay, so we're back into the studio, but I just want to remind you that you can get Pumped at X-Men to feel relieved after a stressful day. Now, X-Men opens from Tuesdays to Sundays, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., walking for a haircut, pedicure, manicure, facial, and electronic or natural massage. Now, we assure you a secure environment with constant sterilized equipment for grooming and a temperature gun, running water with soap and hand sanitizers. We also provide for our customers upon arrival nose masks, and we also sell some if you want to buy some at the premises. So let's all come together to fight COVID-19. No, we're back. I'm going to be giving you some juicy information about Eddie's Pizza, so you still want to stay with me, yes? All right, so Dr. Hilda, you've heard mothers, so yes, everybody's got their method, their schedule and all of that. I really want to hear my schedule from the pediatrician. So we were on toddlers and nutrition, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we talked about the safety in the home. So essentially, if you're about to have a baby or a child, you need to consider how safe your home is. Okay. And to do that, sometimes you can just decide to go on all fours. So as if you're trying to crawl. And then suddenly you see all the things in the home that
really
can... Yes, you can just go on all fours like whether say a dog or a cat.
How difficult can it get?
Like a crawling child.
Okay.
And then suddenly you begin to see some of the things that can easily harm a child in the home. Okay. So for instance, your choice of furniture, it shouldn't be something with sharp edges that can easily hurt a child.
It's a revolution.
Yes, so all those things need to be in place in the home. Okay. And then you don't put chairs near windows and all those things, because they can easily climb onto the chair or table and then climb out of the window. If you happen to be on a story building, then you can imagine what will happen if the child climbs out of the window.
Okay, so, all right, so I'm going to come back. You can also call and then ask questions. You can call 0246 807983, 0246 807983. 0246 807983. Now, if I'm a mother and I have a toddler, normally you wouldn't take the newborn out.
Yes.
And I desperately have to go out and I cannot leave my child at home. I would wear a face mask. Should my baby wear it too?
It depends. The babies, no.
No, the toddlers, I should say.
So the toddlers,
or what age bracket?
Above two, possible. But even that, you need to be mindful and be watching the child for any signs of discomfort, for instance, because if they are finding it difficult to breathe, you might not be aware. So you need, because even for adults, you see that sometimes when you are in the mask, as you walk about, you realize that you may be getting a bit short of breath. So sometimes you just open it a bit so that you can get some air and then you continue. So you just have to be alert if you have children that you have put mask on. Then the other thing is that for the children, often they are not very compliant. They will take it off as they walk about. Before you know it, they've taken it off, they are playing with it, they are touching all over and all. So when they are in the mask, you still have to be vigilant or observe them. First of all, for signs of discomfort, and then secondly, to make sure that they are actually on, or they are not touching them or playing with them. You know, the way the mask works, it's as if, so you assume that the outside has coronavirus. So the frontage, what we can see, has coronavirus. So you don't go touching it, because otherwise, if you have come into contact with somebody with coronavirus, for instance, and you have breathed, and the mask has sort of helped to filter it, you assume that the particles or the viruses are on the mask. So you don't go touching the front of the mask. So these are some of the etiquette that we should be aware of as we promote mask wearing.
Okay, this is a chore, I should say. This is really difficult for mothers during this time. I mean, you already established that motherhood is really difficult already, and then the COVID-19 is not making it any easier. Now I'm concerned about first responders, which you're a clear example.
Yes.
A mother, and you're also a frontline worker.
Yes.
What's special?
You actually pulled me from the treatment center this morning.
That's it. It's really difficult, but we need you as well. But how are you managing it yourself and then the children at home?
So it's Honestly, it's not easy.
Okay.
It's not easy, especially at the beginning. There was a lot of anxiety, and I don't know whether to say a bit of fear, because you know that once you are working, treating patients, it's possible that you can get the virus yourself. But over time, we relaxed a bit. We got used to it. We relaxed and became more comfortable. However, when we get home, so for instance, when I get home, I don't go hugging them or chatting them up. No. When I get home, I take my shoes off, put them somewhere so that I can wash them at the time when I'm ready. I go and take my clothes off. I take a shower before I even go and talk to them. Or go, you know what I mean.
Did you have some sort of a meeting with them for them to understand that you have to do all this before they can come close? But before that, you can still call us on 0246 807983. 0246 807983. And also, so good news, buy one, get one free. From Eddie's Pizza on Tuesdays and on Wednesdays as well. Buy one, get one free at all branches. Now you can call 055-2498-103, 055-2498-103. At least you're staying home. You can just order a box of pizza to appease the kids at home. The reason why you're not hugging them anyway. So was there a house meeting or something?
Well,
how do the children understand this? I'm really worried about how the psychology, what they're going through. What's happening here? I can't hug my mother. Do you think that life would ever become very normal after this?
I think eventually it will become normal. But so I spoke to them, and I still constantly do, because sometimes you have to remind them that, hey, the coronavirus is still around.
Yes.
So, you know, I did speak with them, and we do have updates regularly so that they know what's going on, why they can't touch this, why they can't do that, why they need to constantly wash their hands, why they can't even go out playing with their friends. Occasionally they sneak out and but they know that they are not supposed to be playing with other people from other families, because my neighbor could have coronavirus.
Absolutely.
I could even have coronavirus.
Yeah.
So we need to try and protect each other. And for the children, it's a bit difficult for them to understand and comply with the orders not to go out to play with their friends. But sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But you hope that they eventually get the understanding, and hope also that they don't get, because when you put the mask on them, in a few minutes
they
the
take
mask
it off.
are off. So
I can imagine.
And you know, children too, depending on their ages, the physical distancing,
they don't understand that language.
Depends on the kind of game they are playing.
Well, share with me some nutritional tips a mother should look out for, or to ensure that they put in their meals, the children's meals.
Okay, so for the children, there's something that we call my plate concept. It's not just for children, it's for everyone really.
Okay.
And this sort of tells that if you have a plate of food or a bowl of food, you divide it into 4.
Okay.
About a quarter of it should be protein. About a quarter of it should be grains. But the grains a little more than the protein. Then you have about a quarter, more than a quarter being vegetables.
Okay.
And then more than a quarter being fruits. So it means that by the time that your plate is set, you have a balanced meal. Where you are not looking at purely carbohydrate diet, because you know children need the carbohydrate for energy. They also need the proteins to grow, and they need the vegetables and the fruits for the vitamins, the fiber, and all those things. They need the fats and oils too, which we'll find in the protein. So we need to have our meals balanced. It shouldn't be just one. Maybe somebody will say, what did you eat for lunch? I took sausage. Sausage with what?
Just like that.
Because some people can afford it, they are doing 100% junk, which is not recommended or advised. Okay. So we should ensure that our children, as much as possible, have the fruits and vegetables with their meals.
Okay.
Within the day, you make sure that your children have some fruits and vegetables. Again, even with this COVID-19 that we are talking about, we know that you need your immune system to be strong.
Yes.
And the vitamins that you get from the fruits and the vegetable, they will help to boost the immune system.
Yeah.
So we need to be mindful of what we are giving to them.
I'm going to give you a gift, live ball, whilst you also clear the air on parents not taking their children to the hospital because of fear, if they need to see their pediatrician. Quickly, you want to clear the air, but this is for you. Thank you so much. So parents can still bring their children to the hospital, right?
Yes, our hospitals are open.
Okay.
They remain open, 24-hour service.
Okay.
So we are saying stay home, stay home, stay home.
Yeah.
But not when your child is unwell.
Okay.
If your child is unwell, quickly send the child to hospital.
Okay.
It may be coronavirus, it may be something else.
Okay.
So send your children to hospital.
All right, thank you so much. This has been Good Living. My name is MFR. Jay Foley comes up with Kobe Sparky. They're going to teach us how to take nice photos with your phone camera. What about that? Stay with us.
Who says this? Oluwa! In a commentary.
Abeku.
Abeku Beng.
Abeku Santana.
Kwesi Appiah barely even speaks. He's on a touchline and you see, Dede. Asamoah. Omo. Maintenance. Okay. The answer is Kwabena Jepwa.
It's an exciting game show like you've never seen before. The only game show that seeks to confuse you and enlighten you and confuse you again.
Akotete Betoda ointment. What commercial is that?
Akobam. From the camp of Liaison Legacy Productions.
Continue this song. Mercy Kirim. Ayedro Papa.
Say Utopia.
What don't you know? Shows Saturdays at 5 p.m.
Joy Prime, real entertainment.
Something is coming.
Yes.
To happen.
I me so.
Do you know something we call forgets?
Yes, please.
Have you ever had
Your Honor, is she asking questions or is she preaching? What is the meaning of this?
I really love my husband.
Isn't that lovely, man? The timetable is it 212 or 313? Oh, don't do, if you do that, my techie will rise right now.
Sentinel.
I see. Counsel.
Your Honor.
What's the color of your jacket?
KJTR versus Mokola, showing Monday to Friday
Sebastian.
at 2:30 p.m.
Joy Prime, real entertainment.
No one, no training, no amount of preparation can get any professional ready for this kind of pandemic.
We feel safe because you know you are there. Thank you, all our frontline health workers.
I want to say thank you to the first responders and the ambulance crew, rushing to situations unknown.
The call center operatives who stay on the other end of the phone lines 24/7. Thank you.
To cleaners at the hospitals and in isolation centers. Today, your job is more dangerous than ever. Thank you, Akpenami.
We feel safe because we know you are there. Thank you, all our frontline health workers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's talk bits and bytes. I came into the studio with my jacket on, pocket chef, looking all very suited up. And I've taken it off and I put my glasses on. You know why? Because we're about to take pictures. We're about to talk about smartphone camera technology. All those words jumbled in there. A lot of you out there especially the ladies, you take your phones, you are even in church, in the bathrooms of the toilets, at the malls, because they have spotlights, LED lights, and then you take your camera and you turn left and right and you take all those lovely pictures. Yes, your camera phone has taken over those days when you could actually have a photographer, you know, with those old cameras, and you stand by the leaves and the plants and the flower pots and take nice pictures and pose some way. All those days and times are gone. Kobe Spike is here to bring us the future. And as he's about to be introduced, he's even taking me a picture. I promise that photo we posted on our Joy Prime pages and you see it. Kobe, that photo is to die for.
Yeah, it is.
That photo would have cost me a couple of years back some money, but now these phones are doing
Oh, you'd have
this.
to wait for them to go and wash it. Print it, and then, you know, bring it to you in an envelope, red and white. You remember those?
I remember those days, red and white. I wonder who's been printing those envelopes. The person has made a lot of money.
Yeah, but they're probably out of business now.
Out of business now. I know. Well, so good morning and welcome. Real quickly, so we're talking about the smartphone camera technology. Now, let's understand how far we've come.
Yes. So we've come a very long way from having just one camera on your phone to having up to about 4 or 5 cameras on your phone.
Oh, yes.
Now, some people like you are wondering, why do smartphones even have that many cameras now?
I didn't even know I had cameras, 3 cameras on this phone. This is an Infinix. I didn't even know I had 3 cameras till this morning when he said, I was like, oh, wait, I have 3 cameras.
Yeah, so basically previously all we had was just the one camera that would take your regular shots.
Yes.
Then, you know, the DSLR or your camera, your actual camera, has different modes where you can zoom in. Sometimes you can swap out lenses and then shoot ultra wide pictures.
Yes.
And all those. So you saw the picture I took of you earlier today where it looked like you were a small subject in a very big frame.
Just go to JAYFOLEY, that's JFoley2131 on Instagram. That photo he's talking about is on there right now. You can see for yourself. He took it, you know, way up into the sky.
And these phones now have all these lenses packed in. That's how come you have so many. So the one I took of you was with a S20 Plus, the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus, and you have your regular camera, which is about 48 megapixels. You have your telephoto camera.
I want to show that to your camera so that people can actually see it.
So you have your telephoto camera, which is for zooming. So you noticed I zoomed up to 40 times when we were outside, and you could pull stuff that was very far back.
So wait, this is the S20, the Samsung S20 Plus. It's got 4 cameras.
It's got 4 cameras.
4 cameras and a flashlight.
And a flash, yes. And it's got a depth sensor.
Okay.
So the depth sensor, you know when they take a picture of you with a digital, like a DSLR, which is the big cameras, you have this effect where the background is blurred. And when Apple introduced the iPhone with 2 cameras, the iPhone 10, it had the telephoto lens, which allowed the phone to take bokeh shots. Now, bokeh shots when it blurs the background and makes it look like, oh, this picture.
So basically, if you go to your camera settings and if you're using one of those new phones, you see BOKEH, and that's what he's talking about, bokeh shots. Okay.
Or portrait mode, or if you're using a Samsung, it's called a live focus.
Okay.
So that blurs live focus.
Live focus.
Yes.
Okay.
So it blurs the background and allows you to separate the subject from the background. And that thing was previously only possible with DSLRs.
Yes.
Now smartphones are so crazy. You'll be seeing some of the shots that people have taken with smartphones, even shooting videos, music videos with smartphones, all with just all these cameras. And they've gotten really powerful. So some may even wonder, does this mean that our phones are going to become, our cameras are going to become extinct?
Very soon. Because if the phones are doing this, then it means that very soon. But so I was going to ask you, I mean, why are they putting all these features into into mobile phones?
It's become
Isn't it destroying the photography business where, people want to buy lenses and various kinds of lenses? Or those ones are doing extra than what the phone does?
You know, maybe you should see some of what people have done with phones and you'd be surprised. You'd wonder which cameras were used to shoot these things. It's amazing. I personally believe that maybe in the near future the lines between smartphones and DSLRs may be blurred. Only the professionals may be able to tell the difference between the two. But to the regular person, it might look like, oh, wow, what camera did you shoot it with? Oh, I shot it with my phone. you know.
We're going to be talking about these lenses and some of the options you have on your menu with your camera that you don't even probably know about. But let's also check on screen now and watch some of the images that people have taken with their phones. If I can get my team to put that on the screen now, that would also be great. So we're checking that out now. And so let's look at some of those functions, because I mean, I get my regular phone, all I know is just camera, right? And then whatever comes up there, boom.
You take a picture. Yes, it does happen like that, where you just open your camera. All people know is the regular mode, and then they take a picture. But then, for instance, with this one, you have other modes in the camera. You have an ultra-wide mode. So the moment I touch that, you notice that it zoomed out.
This is still the S20
Plus, yes.
Okay,
and this feature is also available on the Note 10.
Okay.
Like most phones right now come with an ultra-wide camera.
Okay. I was going to ask which settings are generic across most of the new mobile phones.
So most of the new mobile phones have an ultra-wide camera, they have the regular camera, and then they have a telephoto lens for zooming. You have that. Even with a mid-range phone like the A71, you have that. So you have your ultra-wide, your regular camera, and then your telephoto lens. So the telephoto lens is for zooming. So maybe you are taking a picture of someone that you've seen very far away, you switch to your telephoto lens, and then it allows you to zoom in to that subject and then take the picture. You're at a wedding, it's time for photos, everybody's gathered, and then you open your camera and you notice that you can't fit everyone and you have to keep going back, further back. Just switch to your ultra-wide lens and you can get everyone in the shot. You see?
Interesting. I think the farthest people always check out is the filters, and that's basically it.
Filters are cool after you've taken a good picture. Well, what's a good picture? What's a good filter without a good picture?
Yes.
And I'll give you a typical example. Right now, you can see I've got fingerprint smudges all over my camera lens. Now, this is actually going to affect the images. People don't know that. Anytime I take out my camera, first thing I do, even with my shirt, I just rub and then clean.
We do this, we do it that way.
And then clean your lens, and you notice a huge difference from the camera. Another thing a lot of people don't realize is they shoot towards the light. So if the sun is in your face, like it's you're shooting towards the sun, the picture's going to be terrible.
Exactly.
You have
to have a silhouette in there.
Exactly. You have to have the sun or the source of light behind you, focusing on your subject, and then you take a picture.
So I want to buy, what are your recommendations? Not necessarily brand name, but I want to buy myself a mobile phone, because let's say I'm this young girl who's engaged in a business, and I'm into bead making, or a guy, I'm into shoes and fashion, and I can't afford a photographer to come take all these. Are there any recommendations on the kind of mobile phones that I should go look for, without worrying about brand names? Maybe if I see 2 cameras or 3 cameras, should I ask or read which ones and what they do? What are your recommendations?
So personally, most of the time, what I look at, if your camera is your primary concern, a lot of people think megapixels are everything, but it really isn't everything. You might get a camera with a 48 megapixel, and some camera with 12 megapixels will be beating it.
How is that possible?
Because some cameras actually do what we call pixel binning, where it actually binning.
Binning.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's 48 megapixel, but they're taking 4 pixels and then merging it into 1. So you're getting much crisper detail. Versus that 48 megapixel, which is just shooting 48 megapixels without any extra detail. So the camera quality, you notice this person's camera, like a lot of people say, oh, this phone takes very good shots. That's because the processor on the phone is also playing a part. You've heard about Google Pixel phones.
Yes.
Those are great shooters. That's also because they have computational software on it that looks at the image and then fixes it up. It makes it better. So the artificial intelligence system on it can tell that, oh, you're taking a picture of a tree. This is a lot of green. Let me boost the green colors on this. Let me dim out, certain colors and make it stand out.
Okay.
Or you're taking a picture of, most of the phones right now have artificial intelligence. They notice the sky, and then they make the sky bluer to make it nicer. They notice a person, so they enhance your features to make you stand out. All those features you have to really consider. But personally, I would always read the reviews before I go in and buy. Consider, not just look at the megapixel or the number of cameras. You might find a phone with about 5 cameras on the back, and they're all really, excuse my language, crap.
we're going to be talking about brands, and I know there's a big debate and a big fight between Androids and Apples. I'm an Android freak, so I know where I'm standing for. I'm going to be biased on this conversation.
You're going to get insurance to walk on this.
I'm not an Apple person. Apples are too long. Everything iOS is just too complex. You know, you send in songs, you have to go ask permission from the manufacturer before he sends and connect to your laptop. I'm sorry, Apple users. This is just me on the set. So let's talk about that. So which of them, I mean, look, the brand new ones. Let's say you have an iPhone. What's the iPhone latest? I don't
11
know.
Pro Max.
iPhone what?
11 Pro,
11 Pro Max. Against the Samsung S20 Plus.
Versus... So right now there's three players
between these two brands.
There are three players right now.
Okay.
You have Apple, you have Samsung, you have Huawei.
Okay. Yes. Huawei is coming into the conversation.
The three best shooters on the market right now. But to be honest, I've tried all three, and I have to say it's a matter of preference because they're all very
do that.
good. No, I'm serious.
It's not a matter of preference. It's the Androids are in the league.
I would previously have fought for Android for my life. I always do. But you see, right now I have to be very objective. The iPhones have very good cameras. They shoot very well.
Yes.
Maybe when we're talking features, then you might have the Android take a win over there because then you have, say, you can do macro photography with a Huawei, for instance, but you can't do macro photography. So macro is when you're doing very close-ups.
Okay.
You know, you're taking a picture of a butterfly landing on a flower. Okay. You can get that close-up. You can't do that with an iPhone because it doesn't have a dedicated macro lens.
Okay.
But some phones like
in your face. iPhone in your face.
The iPhones have the most believable colors.
Yes.
Like the colors are not natural. Everything is natural. Everything is realistic when it comes to the iPhones. They get everything, you know, 100%. Switching between lenses, like I showed you, you have an ultra wide, you have a telephoto, you have a normal lens. When you're using an iPhone and switch between these lenses, you don't see a difference. Some of these phones, you notice a difference when you switch.
Okay.
So some would become darker, some would become lighter. But Apple, being as perfectionist as they are, make sure that when you switch between lenses, you don't lose, you know, color. The color doesn't change, the brightness doesn't change, everything remains the same.
Which one would you take your money out to buy? An iOS?
I would never buy an iPhone.
Thank you.
Because I don't like being imprisoned.
Thank you very much. Last question: what are the basic settings that you want me to touch with my camera when I buy with regards to my camera? Basic things, or are they already set to something that is good?
Most of the cameras are already set default. Okay. They're very good out of the box. You take them out and you just start shooting. But always make sure that you clean your lens. Make sure that the light is behind you, and don't take a selfie like this. I don't know why people take selfies like this. It's not flattering.
Could you just
take a selfie?
I mean, you've got quite a number of phones there. Could you just let me just get the best pose?
Should I take a picture of you?
Yeah, with an Android per se. And that's how we're wrapping up the show this morning. And this show is partly brought to you by Fan Milk. And Fan Milk says, yes, you can order some Fan Milk to your home. It's very easy. 0551 767676. Yes, I'm just still taking my photos over here. And also don't forget CB Men's Capsule, CB Women's Capsule, your ideal choice to sort out those UTIs and urinary tract infections and W-renal discharge, you name them. CB Men's and CB Women's Capsule is very ideal for you. Thank you very much to the Dewuro team as well, assisting us with our social media. And should I put the Pocket Chef in and take the photo?
I think you should stand.
This way, right? No,
just
like
stand.
Maybe. We'll see you tomorrow, right on Prime Morning. You see this photo online as well.
Believe it or not, how your kitchen smells will determine your output and productivity levels in the kitchen. And that's why it's highly imperative that your kitchen smells really nice at all times. Well, not just your kitchen, every part of your house. But for the sake of this video, we'll be focusing on the kitchen. So today, I'm going to show you how to use natural food ingredients to combat odors in your kitchen and get your kitchen smelling super really nice. So the next ingredient I'm going to introduce you to that you can use to combat odors in your house is vinegar. Now, just like baking soda, you can place vinegar in small bowls and place them strategically in different locations in your kitchen or in your house. I told you there's a science to it. I really can't explain the science. But what this will do is it will literally take out all of the terrible, bad, dirty, stinking odors from whatever part of your kitchen or your